morning, beautiful people. It is Monday, the 28th of April. Welcome to TDA, the day after your favorite news platform and the home of popular culture as defined by you guys, the culture. And of course, like we are every blessed day, we are hosted by the very best. Brent, you in the building?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm all right, man. Something don't sound right with the mic. I don't know if you're talking low or something. Tap it. Yeah, okay, cool. Yes.
Can you hear it?
Yeah. Don't spoil the mic, thank you. How you doing, man?
I'm alright. How's your weekend?
Yeah, it was good, man. It was very, very busy, as you know. But it was good, man.
Lovely.
You know what I mean? Can't complain.
You ready for the week?
Yeah, I guess so, man.
Alright, yeah.
I guess so. How's your weekend?
Very, very busy. Operating on little or no sleep. Hey, good morning, Mr. Nebulous.
Okay.
Ain't seen you in the chat in a while. Nice to see you again. To see you nice. Have you seen Sinners yet? Manuel, have you seen Sinners
No,
yet?
no, I ain't seen it yet, you know. Have you?
No.
Okay.
I'm planning to, though. I'm hearing far too many good reviews.
Yeah, I need to watch it, man. I need to watch it. I'm hearing certain things could be controversial as well, man. And our good brother Kofi, he said that we should have a topic of the day on it. So you people, if you can watch Sinners as soon as possible, that would be good so that we don't do any spoilers or too many spoilers anyway. You know what I'm saying? But
what I've heard so far, my mic isn't low. My energy is gone.
Damn.
So whoever's asked me to turn my mic up, I will turn it up. But you're not gonna hear any different energy. How about now? It is better.
Yeah, that's better.
It is better. All right.
Mm-hmm.
The reviews I'm seeing about the quote-unquote controversy. I'm not sure if it will be controversial for me. I've been dabbling in all sorts of media for the longest while, to be honest. Media is just a portrayal of thoughts and ideas, right? So I don't know if it is I'm going to get shocked at all. Yeah. But I heard there's a lot of bloodplay.
Bloodplay? What does that mean? As in sacrifice and stuff? Sacrifices?
No, it's vampire stuff, isn't it?
Oh, serious? I don't know nothing about the film, you know, so I'm surprised. Okay.
When's the last time you went to the cinema? Why aren't you wearing TMB sliders?
That's true, you know. Right. That's a good point. Do you know I have an issue though? Sometimes when I got stuff that's new and nice, I don't wear it. Yeah, I know, it's crazy. I have a cupboard full of stuff that I ain't never worn.
What do you mean? Say more words. So you go and you buy things.
If I see nice crepes, let me get them crepes. Yeah, just leave them in the cupboard. Until something comes up. But then by that time, my brain's not thinking about it because it's still in the box. Do you get what I'm saying? So sometimes I miss the opportunity. So like I have to sometimes get my mind, okay, cool, let me look through these things here. Let me look through these. You know what I'm saying?
I don't have money like that.
It's not about money. It's just about, you know what I mean? It's just not in front of my face.
But when I realize that's what I'm doing, I realize, well, I'm wasting money.
Yeah.
I don't have money like that.
Neither do I. I'm an economics man, as you know. But it's because it's not in my face. So imagine now I realize, a nice crepes. I'm not just going to take it out and wear it to the studio. Do you know what I'm saying? So I now have to wait for the time I want to wear it. But by then, I might forget again.
How has your pattern of lifestyle changed over the last 10 years? Because I'm in a studio 24/7. So I'm not buying clean kicks because I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, of course.
Next month, end of Friday, last Friday, next month, we're starting back the net.
Okay. You hear that, people? You hear that, people?
I will say a proper thing.
Yeah, of course.
This phone yesterday.
Nice.
So,
nice.
Yeah, that'll be a nice thing to see a few of the other like peeps since, innit? I ain't seen y'all in a while. It'll be nice to see y'all, basically.
Yeah,
might coincide with a couple of things. You get me. We'll have a different reason to celebrate and that.
All right, then.
Well, celebrate twice. But anyway, yeah. How's your pattern of life that changed? Why I'm asking that is, obviously back in the day, before you got married and that, you had a reason to go places more frequently. Like with your boys in South London. I always associate South London with your boys.
A lot of them from South. Though.
Yep. yes.
It's changed, I guess, because of like just other priorities now, innit? Work, TDA, family, that sort of stuff.
Why are you still buying kicks? Is what I'm saying. Like,
do you know what it is?
There's nowhere to go but work.
Yeah, but you just need to change every now and again. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Change clothes.
Like for example, don't get me wrong. It's not like I'm out there thinking, oh, I need to get crepes. It's rarely like that. You know what I'm saying? It's more so like, oh, I come across something, or you know what I mean? Because I can't remember the last time I've gone to the shop to be like, oh, I need to get trainers. That might be because I shop online mainly, but I don't think about it. I'm a sort of routine guy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not like Mark. So Mark will come here and have different crepes every day. You know what I'm saying? I'll come and wear the same crepe. You know what I'm saying?
But even more reason as to why you're buying gigs.
That's why I say it's crazy. But I don't buy them regularly. But I'm still saying I have stuff I don't wear or have not worn yet. You know what I'm saying?
So it's not just kicks, it's clothes as well.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
What was the last thing you bought that you haven't worn? Because you didn't buy those sliders, it was gifted to you.
That's different.
Yes, I know it's different. That's why you shouldn't be using it as an example as to why it is.
No, it's still the same because it's not about the cost. Do you know what I'm saying? It's new. It's because it's new and it's not in my face. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously if I'm tidying up stuff and I put it away or whatever, I put it to the side or whatever. Yeah. And because it's routine. So for example, I'm coming here. Like, for example, if I'm wearing the TMB sliders now, yeah, I don't need, in my head, it's like, unless I'm wearing it already, I don't need to be wearing it to come here. I'd rather wear it somewhere. Do you know what I'm saying?
Where would you wear TMB sliders?
To the shop.
You would walk to the shop and back with it, but you won't come to work with it?
No, because to me, it's, I don't know how to explain.
I don't even know why you're wearing sliders.
Why?
You just drive here.
Yeah.
Are you driving your sliders?
Whatever's on the feet. Yeah.
That means you're going back home.
Yeah, of course I am.
Nah, you got too much time in your hand.
Why? What do you mean I got too much time in my hand?
You just slid into your slippers. You don't have to stop to put shoes on. What time did you get here today?
I just didn't want to wear trainers and stuff, innit? I just want to be a bit lighter and stuff.
Yeah. You know, Marks comes in here and he puts his uniform on. He makes a conscious effort to do that. When he's on no behavior, he puts his uniform on. Makes a conscious effort to do that.
That's what I'm saying.
When it is you come sometimes, I'm seeing you with bare NOI stuff.
Okay, what's that mean?
You make a conscious decision to come and put on NOI?
I don't know what you're talking about, man. You trying to say I don't wear TMV stuff? Is that
You
what you're
do.
trying to say? Exactly.
You mix it up.
Yeah, of course.
And right now, what you wearing in TMV? What are you wearing, I asked you?
I'm wearing it.
Your haircut is done. You never put a hat on when it is you have a haircut.
That's why I said.
As in next to you so that
In
you
the
can
shots. I'm wearing
promote it?
I'm wearing it, but it's just not on my
Have you rocked any of the other garments I give it to you? You know,
Yeah,
I can look to gift it to the TDA community, innit?
Oh no,
Because there was a lot of garments, man.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we were wearing it, man. We were doing
Those
a
were
great
we.
job. You know what I'm saying?
I know Esther's wearing it.
There you go. You know what I'm saying? So am I. So are you.
Yes, I don't wear anything else.
That's fun. That's what I'm saying to you. It's good. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Can Mags tell when somebody is from South London? Because I got that vibe.
What, just from looking or talking?
Talking.
Yeah, maybe.
Like yesterday. The day before yesterday. I think I got the vibe that they started talking and he heard that he might be from where the ops are from.
This guy. This guy.
Let me not respond. Let me not respond with the same type of glee that I respond to Brent with. And the people who were talking to him, they don't even care about like that kind of disrespect. You know, and I kind of saw it like, whoa, this is frosty. So I quickly just segue the conversation. Yeah. Back to focusing on me. And Pete returned. You weren't there. You weren't there.
I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to think of what you're talking about.
You weren't there. You weren't there, man. It's funny. I always wondered, like, what life would have been like for me if I grew up like you ruffians, like you vagabonds.
We're not vagabonds, Brent.
Not anymore.
We're just black people.
Not anymore. I saw Nappa get disrespected on a clip this morning.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I saw that.
He was calling nobody.
He couldn't be nobody. What, Billy Joe?
I don't know, some white guy.
Was he kind of fat?
Fluffy a bit.
Yeah, former world champion.
Man said, but he called it. You said he didn't, like, no lies told, you said?
No, I'm just saying.
But what are you saying?
I'm just saying.
What are you saying?
I'm not saying anything. Nappa's a big guy, you know. So Nappa's a big guy.
Yeah.
But Billy Joe's still former world champion.
So you guys say no lies told?
To be fair, and he beat Eubank.
So you definitely say no lies told.
I mean, Canelo made him retire, to be fair. Banged him up. But anyway, that's besides the point. I saw like a little something. I think it was during the whole fight. Yeah, but I never looked into the clip. I wasn't too interested in all that sort of stuff in it. But yeah, man.
Like Saturday was a real like pleasant day for you watching the boxing, isn't it?
The boxing.
Like it was a motive.
Yeah.
Did you feel like it was special? Like you were part of history?
I think afterwards. Sorry. To some degree, yeah. When I say afterwards, more so because of the nature of the fight, how the fight went. You know what I mean? Because it definitely was. It definitely was. If you think, I know that it might sound a bit blasphemous, but if we're being unbiased and put things in perspective, if we're gonna say that the seniors, Eubank Senior and Nigel Benn, their fights were that special, then we have to put this in context and say this was up there as well, as a moment, as an experience. You know what I'm saying? In Britain, it's definitely one of the greatest fights. You know what I'm saying? Definitely one of the greatest fights.
We'll get onto that.
Yeah, we're going.
Because I've got a few questions still. Because like everybody went crazy about it, man. And I have a few questions for a boxing connoisseur, no? And I would like them answered, all of them answered.
I'll try my best, but
all right.
As you guys know, last week, we had an amazing interview with the ACLT. You know what I'm saying? Big up Mr. Orin, the girl.
I've already got my email.
You got your email?
Yeah.
Nice.
A follow-up email, and then they said that they would, the next email that they sent to me would be when I could choose my slot and stuff.
Oh, sick. Yeah, well, basically, Brent's trying to say that. Not trying to say. He registered already, and he's got the follow-up email. So it'll make sense if you register. So guys, register, please. You know what I'm saying? Like, they pretty much made it very clear. All we have is ourselves, man. You know what I'm saying? And this is a literal example of that, where we're the only ones that can save ourselves, man. We're the least represented, and we're the most in need, you know what I'm saying, of blood that can save our lives. So people, man, we can't rely on anybody else. It's like a literal example of what we've been talking about on this show for the longest while. You know what I'm saying? So let's kind of normalize giving blood where we can help people, man, in our community and save lives, save families. So yeah, but you're gonna put the link in the description, please. After
it is always in the description.
Thank you very much. What a brilliant guy.
It will be until the till the day. We'll make a more concerted like topic of the day rally to get you guys signed up, because we have to make that 20 quota. You can't have 90s babies turning up for the community in such a manner, and our community, TDA community, can't turn up and give a little wet.
True indeed, man. So
a little plasma. And majority of you all have seen Sinners already. You know how valuable that red wet is. You get me? That good.
That black blood. Was it just black people getting beaten up? Eaten up.
I haven't seen Sinners.
Okay.
I just know it's Bloodplay.
Okay. Interesting.
What do you think about Kinks?
Kinks. What, just in general?
Just in general, man.
What do I think about them?
Shouldn't people be allowed to have kinks?
Should be allowed to have anything they want.
Yeah,
Of course.
within moderation, within reason.
I mean, it's up to them. Everyone should be allowed to live and die by our decisions. But, of course, it shouldn't harm other people, innit? If what you're doing is you're a grown person, innit? Of course, there's certain things one would advise you to do more or less of. You know what I mean? If you want to preserve life and try and strike a balance. But yeah, of course, everyone pretty much should be allowed to enjoy their life in the way they see fit. If kinks are seen as enjoyment.
I want to collect some kinks. Like, what kinks can religious people do? Like Christians?
I have no idea.
Yeah,
You're going to have to speak to one.
Your research, you're well researched, man. You haven't gotten onto...
Nah.
Nah, never crossed your path in your literary travels?
Nah, I don't.
You don't go down those alleyways?
Nah, man.
Funny thing. I clicked the video yesterday and went down a little rabbit hole. You know when you were talking about El and Yahweh and all that nonsense?
Yeah.
I've been seeing bare videos since of that, right?
Was it? Okay.
And then there's this woman, this professor.
Damn.
What happened?
He was saying bring back kink shaming. What's going on?
Was
Has
that
something
white
happened about white rabbit? Has anything happened about like kinks recently or something? What's going on?
Corporate Prince says Shannon's kink got him cooked.
Oh, well.
Yeah, race play is a different type of kick.
I didn't think of that, to be fair. Yeah, it's diabolical, man.
Yeah. But this particular professor, she had written a book, I think a few months ago, maybe even last year, I don't know when it is, but there was a guy that was reviewing it, and then he got on it, for an interview, and she was peddling that same stuff you were trying to peddle. Like, it's quite a common theme now with this whole Yahweh, the characteristics of El was transputed to Yahweh, and it became the God of the Israelites and the Stanix.
Yeah.
And the more I listen to it, the more like easy it is to understand as to what they're talking about, and easy to understand how it can easily just be refuted.
Okay.
Yeah. And even in the Bible, God speaks about how easy he had to reveal himself to people because, like, not everybody knew him and that, right? But anyway, that's not an important part. The important part is I'm down this rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And in this same book, like, she goes further than just talking about El in that particular manner, right? She starts saying that the words like loins,
Okay.
like, were literal meanings of God's phallus.
Okay.
Right? And the phallus was humongous. And he used the phallus to basically bed like other deities and that. Like physically.
Okay.
And then she would jump to different parts of the Bible to basically say, see, here, they don't really mean this. This is what this meant.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, whoa.
Is she black?
No, she's not.
Okay.
She's not black. But I'm like, I mean, there are people who dedicate their life to being learned, right? And with just like a few other examples of where that same word was used. And I'm not just talking about loins, I'm talking about the original use of the word. Just a few examples of where it's used, you can see that, like, she is so off the mark. Not just in the blasphemous nature of thinking about the physical penis of God.
But why are you saying this? I don't want to cut your train of thought, but why is it blasphemous?
For her, it's not.
No, even for you. Like, even when you're hearing it, you feel, why is it?
Oh,
like,
by the way, I've never thought about God's phallus. I've never thought that he was man to have a phallus.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah.
Did you ever think about God's phallus?
No, I haven't.
Have they been on your mind?
No.
Never plagued your sleep?
No.
Why not?
Because I don't see, I guess, God as a... Before man came, I didn't see him as a physical man. Innit? Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, she says God basically tells you that.
But that's because
God is a man by saying, "I made you in my image."
Yeah, but that's I mean, that's her interpretation.
But
of it.
the thing is that she's a learned woman.
Yeah,
she is a big professor, right?
Do you know how I make sense of this? I make sense of it. Again, I don't know, innit? So I don't know her name, I don't know her credentials, nothing like that. But to me, it's because we anthropomorphize God. You know what I'm saying?
She talked about that too.
That's all it is. So if we do, and we say God's got hands and God's got a head, then if we were trying to talk about the myths of God creating man, one might say that.
But she wasn't even saying it was about the metaphors on that. She said, no, he was physically well endowed. And
because there might have been pictures, right? There might have been.
She said that
statues.
there must have been statues, but it's because they they sculpted it from actually seeing God's.
Is that what she's saying, or you're adding that?
This is what she's saying.
She's saying that the people saw God.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I hear it.
Look, man. And the guy was like, "Yeah, I never thought about this." I'm like, "Whoa, buddy!" Like you're really into
So he
this.
was buying into it.
Huh?
He was buying into it.
Like he said, it's the best book I've ever read.
Oh, serious?
Yeah. But anyway, kinks though. What kinks can I get into as a Christian?
I have no idea, man.
Come on, man.
You have to ask someone like Joshua, man.
So why Joshua?
He's a Christian, isn't it? Nothing.
Oh man! All right, what kinks I get into as a Nation of Islam member?
I mean, you join and then we can tell you. No, I'm joking.
What do I actually need to do to join? Do I just?
I don't think. Why do you see kinks? Because obviously you said as a Christian, what kinks can I enjoy? Why does the kink have to be? I guess. Why do the constraints have to be Christian? Do you know what I'm saying? Why is it some kinks like, oh no, I'm a Christian, I can't do that one? Do you know what I'm saying?
Do some kinks involve having sex outside of marriage?
I don't know. This is what I'm saying to you. I don't know what the kinks are.
Some kinks are sex, right? Sex related.
Aren't they all? Or no?
No.
See, I don't know about this subject. You know what I'm saying? So this is what I'm asking you.
Let's define a kink.
Perfect. Let's
start where we're supposed to start. I don't want Nadia getting upset.
Still waiting on the.
Don't do that.
You set me up, man. You set me up. No, but this is what happens. It's been a while since we've gone back to how I used to behave 2 years ago, man.
A sharp twist or curve in something that's not the one I want. Let me see. What we see? A person's unusual sexual preference. All right, I guess it has something to do with sex, but it doesn't have to be.
And it's unusual.
Yes. As a Christian, do you think I can get involved in blood play?
Is that a kink though?
What, biting somebody's neck and enjoying blood?
Yeah. Maybe it's unusual.
If you get sexual pleasure from it, I think it is, no?
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, by definition, isn't it?
Do you eat bone marrow from the bone?
Who does that? What, human beings?
You're new to this, isn't it? When you have a chicken bone.
Oh, so not a human being, then, right?
I said, do you eat bone marrow?
But
I didn't say from human bones.
Yeah, but why? Okay, so basically you're just trying to say food can be part of this experience.
Have you eaten? Do you remember eating bone marrow?
No, I wasn't into that. You know, I never liked it.
When y'all cook, do y'all still have bone marrow juice in the stem of the bone?
In the bone, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
yeah. Some people like to chew the bone down and really get all the stuff out of it. Yeah, I've never liked that though.
Have you ever had somebody in your family that finished off the bone?
As in the bone disappears?
Disappears.
No.
Pow!
Never.
That's an addy boy, you know.
Hey, you never
Would
know.
you really trust them with children?
It might be nutritious. Who knows? You never know.
Yeah, but
man.
being able to basically gnaw that down so it's digestible is crazy. It's crazy.
Oh gosh.
Oh my. What else can I get involved in as a Christian? It's a little segue. I've been getting through Jordan Peterson and Joe Rogan's conversation the other day, right?
Okay.
And they talked about the importance of play. There's a nice clip. Oh, let me see if I can find it. I sent it to somebody so it's easy to recall. Let me know if it is that you agree. Trigger warning for anybody who doesn't like Jordan Peterson's voice.
I've kind of lost a bit of respect for Jordan Peterson,
because of his support for Israel.
No, South Africa.
Oh,
yeah. I mentioned it on the show the other day, and Ed watched it as well, and I watched it now. He had an interview with a white guy, Dr. Reutz or something like that, or Hoytz, one of the two. And obviously he's a white African, whatever they're called, innit, right? And there was just really pushing information that rarely do I listen to something. Because I know a lot of people say, oh, that's dangerous. You never really hear me say stuff like that, innit? Because I just think information is information, right? And whatever, I'll do what you want to do with the information. But this was one of the first times I listened to it and I thought to myself, wow, people can really take this information and believe this bollocks, right? And not only that, Jordan Peterson's very passionate, innit? So when he
cries a lot.
Oh yeah, it's too much at this point. But anyway, that's his brand.
Imagine feeling getting lost in what you're saying so much. And finding yourself so much in what you're saying, right? That you're feeling every word.
Yeah.
Right? And then
I mean, I hear it. But the first few times, you know what I'm saying?
But
now it's like every big interview.
In the Bible, right? How it says Jesus wept. Like I feel as though he thinks that that's his license. And it's always when he's communicating how much it is that he is looking to advocate for these lost boys, and it's normally white boys. He's ever cried for black boys?
He doesn't make that clear though, innit?
He says incels. I might be simplifying what his point is and whatnot, but he does cry a lot.
He does, yeah.
And he's not afraid to cry.
No.
You ain't a man, ain't no good to cry. When's the last time you cried?
I'll tell you, man.
I cried this morning, bro. You wake up and you're just tired.
Get it out.
No, it's just like you got. Sometimes you need the muscles to stop it. Yeah, man. But because you're tired, it's just fluid. I'm like, whoa, I must be happy. My eyes were watering. I wasn't crying. Yeah. But I just couldn't stop it.
You should see the face, what he's doing. Oh, man.
All right, cool. Let me. So you lost respect for this guy because of his views. You normally say you take what is valuable and you leave the rest. But now you're saying you just lose respect for him because of this thing?
Only because I saw white supremacy working.
Yeah.
So he and I've always known this, and I think I've said this on the show many times in many different ways. But it was just a reminder that as much as this guy is a professor, a doctor, a lecturer, a clinician, all of these amazing things, right? And he's giving information that could benefit people of all different races and stuff. He's still what he is. And he's still going to push the agenda of what he is. Do you get what I'm saying? And that was evident like crazy in that particular interview. So I was in my head I was thinking I might even do that if the time is there. I wanted to actually, them sort of reaction videos. Like a reaction video. Yeah, I wanted to do one of those to basically stop and be like, you see what you said there? Fake. In this particular year, South Africa did da-da-da-da, and break it down, because I think there was so much misinformation in that video to really justify South Africa being what it is. And what also hurt me was that when I looked through the comments, I saw black South Africans saying, of course they didn't, but basically they were applauding the interview, saying, "Yeah, we are one." I said, "What's going on there? What's going on there? You guys are going to make me say something, and then my South African brothers and sisters are going to call up the show again, wanted to chastise me, right?" And I try to mind my business, I really do, but I love South African people, man. I do. I love every African there is, and it hurts me when I hear the foolishness. You know what I'm saying? It hurts me, man. And yeah,
But he's. I don't think this is new. He's been like trying to downplay white privilege for time.
yeah, of course, yeah.
Like for time.
Yeah. But I guess I don't know.
So
maybe
what are you seeing of him that you're only now losing respect?
It's a bit different though, because I
Or you're
think,
now understanding who he is in more color. Why haven't you seen this before?
Maybe because when I see those particular things, maybe in America, or he's talking about America, or talking about Canada, or whatever, or even the UK, it's the West. Africa's home. It's not your business. Do you get what I'm saying? Don't come here. We don't know. People that said shouldn't be there anyway, and now you want to justify the crap. Do you get what I'm saying? I have a problem with that. I can stay out of the business of certain things. I always say, let's do for ourselves. Let's do our own thing. So we can do that. We can be separate. We can do whatever we want to do in the West. But home, we don't need to. We need to be able to roam free because it's home. Do you get what I'm saying? And these people want to come out there and start talking nonsense, man. It's just fake. It's just fake. It's just like everything they were saying was just fake and wrong. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, there's just so many things in the thing that I was just disappointed at. It was just more so just disappointment.
The majority of the clips you normally see or you have seen of Jordan Peterson, what topics does he normally cover? Because I want to know why it is that you even had respect for him in the first place.
Because
Not that I'm saying I don't or I do.
Of
I'm just saying, like, why did you now state I'm losing respect for him? How did he gain your respect?
Because he's a well-learned man. And I respect somebody who puts in years. He's not a barbershop scholar. You know what I'm saying? It's not just, I talk with my friends, I've read 2 books here and there. No, he reads books. He's a professor. Do you get what I'm saying? He has a wealth of knowledge. And he can articulate himself too. And these are all things that I think benefit any human being. And he lives that, you know what I'm saying? But as much as somebody lives this, scholars are human beings, and human beings have biases. You know what I'm saying? And I think those other biases, to me, maybe I agreed with those particular things, or they were just things that I didn't care too much about. Do you get what I'm saying? But for the thing I care about, which is Africa, black people's home, and I saw it wasn't a neutral thing. It was more so this guy saying there's a narrative out there about the African people and all that sort of stuff. It's wrong. It's X, Y, Z. And then they proceeded to then talk about the reality, what they call their reality, how long they've been in the country, how long they're this, and how they have equal right to black folk in South Africa, and this, and Julius Malema, and and all this sort of stuff. I just thought, you're lying to the people, man. You're lying to the people. And you're pushing a particular narrative. This guy said something along the lines of, Julius Malema is saying, basically there was some chants from back in the day, you know what I'm saying? And Julius Malema, every now and again, I guess when they have their meetings and their gatherings and stuff, they may summon those chants, right? And certain things, he might say certain things in particular interviews or whatever it may be, and there's just certain things where it's like you can see he's talking metaphorically, or you can see that he doesn't necessarily mean it in the same way it was meant when there was actual war or real physical conflict and people was dying, but more so like summoning that spirit that made us fight for liberation. We need to do the same thing because we might be free now, but we're not economically free. You know what I'm saying? So all of that sort of stuff. And they refuse to acknowledge that. On top of the refusal to acknowledge it, Jordan Peterson was like, no, when he's saying kill believe what he's saying. Believe what he's saying, because people just say stuff for just saying sake, for just saying stuff, right? He kept pushing the idea that, guys, when you're hearing black South Africans talk in a particular way, believe what they're saying and almost prepare yourself. Do something, counteract it so that your life is not at risk. Do you get what I'm saying? It really just added a lot of fire to something that's already volatile, isn't it? But anyway, is what it is, man.
So was it that the trans stuff that he was talking about that you liked? That's the question I asked you. Like, what topics did you hear him talking about?
What trans stuff was he saying?
Oh, so you know him talking about the.
Are you talking about pronouns and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was right about that.
Oh, is that the stuff that you were taking in that you respected him in the first place?
I don't think he talked about that. He's like for a big part of his career. That's nothing to do with that. When he was talking about stuff about just the mind and
he always talks about the mind, innit?
Yeah, exactly. I appreciate that
expertise.
That's something I appreciate. That I appreciate philosophy. I appreciate the work of Carl Jung. I appreciate.
He always drops that, man.
100%. He's a legend. One of the most brilliant minds. Do you know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that sort of stuff. And yeah, you know what I mean? But yeah, when that obviously veered into the agenda of white supremacy, I have an issue with it, man. It's what it is.
Fair. So.
It's about tyranny. And it was very difficult for me to conceptualize the opposite of that as cleanly as I could characterize its presence. Like, what's the opposite of tyranny? It's not freedom, by the way. It's certainly not anarchic freedom. It's not hedonistic freedom.
Benevolence?
I think it's play. I think it's play.
Yeah.
Well,
that makes sense.
Well, the developmental psychologist Jean Piaget, one of the things he pointed out was that so let's say play is the foundation of micro-community, right? When you're a little kid, you play a game with another kid. And then if that works well, you inhabit a little dyadic community. You're both in it together. And then if it really works, you replicate that across time, and that gives you a friend. But play is very interesting psychologically and psychobiologically because it has to be entered in voluntarily. You can't force someone to play. And it's also motivationally fragile. So mammals have a play circuit and it can be disrupted by pretty much any other motivational or emotional circuit. So the circumstances have to be set up properly. Like the walled garden, you know that idea? Mm-hmm. The walled garden is a place that play can take place, like eternally, so to speak. Mm-hmm. And because it has to be undertaken voluntarily, it's the opposite of tyranny. Like my wife and I have really started to apply this in our marriage more consciously, you know, once I'd figured out this relationship, because I've been lecturing to people for a long time about how to conduct themselves in life so they don't become a tyrant or a handmaiden to the tyrants, right? A silent handmaiden to the tyrants, let's say. And aiming at play. You know, when we walked in here today, one of the things we said was, let's have some fun. You know, and I've been thinking this morning too about what attitude I should take coming in to talk to you. And there isn't a better attitude. There isn't a better attitude than play. And I think it is because it's the antithesis. It's the antithesis of tyranny in particular. And then you were talking more about mature play.
Do you agree?
About which part? Everything.
The opposite of tyranny is play.
I would have liked to see him flesh it out a bit more.
That's not good. You know, that also makes sense. This is the issue with the idea that adulthood isn't any fun. It's like, well, do you want to play a simple game? Or do you want to play a really sophisticated game really well? Now, that's going to require some discipline and some training and some maturation, but the payoff is much higher. That's a good way to conceptualize marriage.
The highs are higher when you're successful.
Well, and also, the people who have the most sex now are religious married couples.
Really?
Yeah, isn't that funny?
Which religion?
It's like, yeah, good question, Joe. Good question. Well, I guess in the West that would obviously be Christianity, but it's an interesting case example of the sorts of things we're talking about, because you can imagine at the dawn of the sexual revolution, when the birth control pill became prevalent, that the last hypothesis anyone would have possibly generated was that the cascading consequences of that over 50 years would be, well, radical increase in pornography use because sex has been made less dangerous by the pill, and that the people who are having the most sex would be religious married couples.
Right, but is that true? Because like pornography essentially was very difficult to acquire before the birth control pill was invented.
True.
Right, you used to have to go somewhere to get the pornography. Isn't part of the excess use of pornography just the access is so instantaneous now?
Oh, definitely. But you could imagine, too, that you might have hypothesized that if the birth control pill took the threat out of sex, that pornography would be less necessary. But that didn't seem to work out.
Right.
For you, what do you do as a married man? How do you play? How do you play it? And does it look different now that you're married compared to how it used to be before you were married?
I don't play, man.
Oh, you don't play at all? You don't find things that are fun to do?
Not really, man. Too busy, man.
How about when it is that you go to Chicago? Don't you get excited when you go and see your idol?
I'm joking, by the way. How do I play?
Spending time with your
What do
daughter.
I find exciting and stuff? Yeah, all of that sort of stuff. I feel like, you know what it is? I think a big part of play or excitement is the mind. Do you know what I'm saying? And not necessarily who you're with or what you're doing. Do you know what I'm saying? I think it's also it's it might be the preparation of your preparation before doing a particular thing that allows for play to exist, innit? So, with regards to it changing over the years, it might just be because of the different things I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? And maybe the different things that I now find interesting. If that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
And do you think that they're the foundation blocks for growth?
I believe so, yeah. Yeah.
Because as children, we used to play all the time, innit? And through play, we discovered
exactly
more about ourselves
Yeah.
and the world around us. And as we get older, the type of play we used to play, we don't. And it changes to adult play.
Yeah.
And you see, you giggle there.
Because I felt like, oh, this is how you're linking it back to the kink.
No.
That's what I loved.
No. But are you saying that? Are you saying that sex is also play?
Yeah. I mean, it can be. You know what I mean?
I think it definitely can be.
Yeah. But I guess too much play can lead you in a situation, innit? I mean, we see with Shannon Sharp, unfortunately, allegedly. You know what I'm saying?
Reese play.
Yeah, that's diabolical, man. It's bad, man. It's sad, I should say. It's sad.
For Shannon. Shannon.
Yeah, because I just feel like all the work he's been putting in over the
Cannon.
years.
Who had that bar? Who had that sound effects on their music? Cannon.
Well, that was back in the day, you know. That was all over Lil Wayne's.
Cannon.
back in
Yeah,
the
that's
day,
where I heard
man.
it from. I never used to listen to Little Wayne like that, to be honest. Only his good hits. He used to make bare music, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Bare music. And I think our brains had wired ourselves to enjoy it.
I think so.
Yeah. It was because when I hear him now, I'm like, what?
But he's not the same person now, though.
I know. But there are stands who would listen to him now and say, ooh, fire. I'm like, no.
Yeah. Although I'm saying that and I'm not listening to him for years. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's how it is with a lot of people. Because artists have to change, innit?
I think getting my blood taken is part of play too.
Okay. In what capacity?
I have to I'm doing something I've never done before, right? So I've done some research on it. And this is an adventurous thing I'm doing. So I'm dabbling in an adventure. I'm going to sit there and I'm going to watch the life get sucked out of me. And I know, I believe that it's going to be able to give health and physical wealth to somebody else.
That's it.
And that, in my head, will make me happy. And that's play too. So
I hear it. That's true.
I'm gonna. I think a lot. Being a creative mind that I am, right? My entire existence is just creative. I'm always playing. In my mind, I'm always playing. When it is I'm not playing, I feel as though I'm dying. You know. But it was interesting for me to hear it said in this way, and for the person to kind of unpack it in the manner in which it is that they did. And yeah, I might be interested in getting into some more play.
Where do you think these things even? Do you feel like this?
Keep that thought.
Yeah.
I know you said, I asked you before about this guy, and you said, I respect him because he's a professor, he's well-read, this and that. I don't like to give time to well-read people who don't present thoughts and ideas in good faith. I think it's a travesty that they dedicate their time to then come to use it for ill will. So I don't respect them or revere those types of people. Doesn't matter how many letters you collect. Doesn't matter how many books you've read. If you're not looking to basically help humanity and be kind with the knowledge in which it is that you've gotten, then you need to be lambasted in my mind.
Isn't that subjective though? In terms of the help.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But why does it need to be not that?
No, it's just me saying you might find somebody deplorable or somebody you don't really respect, but that person's helping millions of other people, right?
Give me an
just
example. Give me an example.
Like Jordan Peterson, for example. Let's just say this is my first. We can say
No, don't use him
cool.
as an example, because I guess. Do you believe that Iron Man is a well-read man?
Iron Man. Stuck.
No, the real Iron Man. The first Iron Man. The only one I acknowledge.
Your Ghostface. What you talking about, man? What you talking about? What, as in Tony Stark's?
1 + 1 = 3.
Terrence Howard.
Yeah. You think he was Iron Man?
What's the question? Iron Man in what? Oh my, you going back to that?
Yes.
I forgot about that, you know.
But doesn't matter.
I forgot about that.
Do you think he's well-read?
Define well read to me.
But you said that Jordan Peterson was well-read.
Yeah, but I can't compare the two.
Were you just about reading books and being able to basically communicate those ideas to others?
This is why I want you to define it for me. Because if you're just talking about reading books, then Terrence Howard probably.
What did you mean when you said well-read in relation to Jordan Peterson?
Reading books, of course, but able to comprehend what's being read and apply it in a way that is coherent and in alignment with all the rules of logic and reason. Do you get what I'm saying? There's a big difference between someone being able to read books and somebody understanding what's being read. Very big difference. And I think this is the reason why you have institutions like universities and stuff, where you can bounce ideas off people, where you can learn from somebody who has a wealth of knowledge, but so that you can also think for yourself and apply those particular things. I'm not saying that university is a necessity. What I am saying is there's a huge benefit there. And a lot of the time, people do the either or thing. The actors are, oh no, I'm against the institution, so I'm not. No. There's reasons why they're there and been there for hundreds of years. And it's necessary. So, yeah. I think that answers the question.
All your heroines, they went to university?
Heroines.
Heroes?
No, of course, not at all. Not at all.
Were they well-read?
Not all of them. Not all of them.
And yet they were able to do so much good with the ideas that they were able to communicate.
Yeah, but that's going to have to do with being well-read. You can be somebody who's not well-read.
I didn't say it was connected. You mentioned the institutions.
Yeah.
And the amount of structure and logic framing you can basically get from these particular institutions.
Yeah.
So is there somebody that you have as a hero that has been unconventional with that institutional path, but yet has done so much good for the world?
Of course.
Name a couple.
Malcolm X.
Who else?
Louis Farrakhan.
Who else?
Elijah Muhammad. Booker T. Washington.
Who else?
Who else would I put in that category?
Any in the realms of science?
Michael Faraday. One of the greatest minds.
So he went against the grain, right? Against the institution.
He didn't have it at his disposal. I've mentioned Faraday before. He's one of the people I look up to. He was a white man, Christian man as well. A sect of Christianity. Called them Sandemanians. And very strict. But without Faraday's contributions, we don't have an understanding of electricity. We don't have an understanding of electromagnetism. There is no Einstein. Do you get what I'm saying? And he didn't go to any formal institution. But that also limited him. He had to wait for a James Clerk Maxwell to come along to actually write up formulas that he was able to observe but couldn't articulate. Do you get what I'm saying? Because maths means something. Do you get what I'm saying? Physics means something. Formulas mean something. And he was one of the greatest observers, right? And somebody that can explain things. A great mind. But again, because he didn't have that formal education, he was kind of limited in that regard, only in that respect, right? So, near the end of his life, you had somebody like James Clerk Maxwell who came along and was able to link everything and make sense of it. Then obviously, generations later, then you had Einstein take it to a next level. But anyway, I say all of that to say, yeah, of course, 100%. But hopefully you're not trying to, in fact, let me not say that. But yeah, that's the answer to your question, Brent.
All right. And yes, I know that he wasn't Iron Man. I was being facetious. Anyway,
Joshua says Jesus Christ. Yeah, Jesus Christ. I guess it's somebody.
Yeah.
But is that entirely true?
What, that he was a maverick?
Was Jesus Christ a rabbi? Did he have some sort of education? I think he did. Do you know what I'm saying?
As an institutional education?
Did anyone in that time kind of, when I say that time, I should say that time and space. So the Hebrews that were there at the time, well, did they have access to stuff like that? Obviously, they were under occupations and things of that nature, but I don't know, maybe just in the realm of being well learned in scripture, which takes a lot of years of diligent study, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Unless you guys just are assuming Jesus just had the information because he was God, so it was just there. Can
you remember what it is you're going to say? Before I said, hold it. And I said, I don't respect any learned man who doesn't look to communicate with the world in good faith.
No, I don't know.
That's all right. That's fine.
I don't think it was that important, to be fair.
All right, so more play makes Brent good boy.
Yeah. Mackin Neum says universities existed back then. Yeah, of course they did. I'm saying basically in Israel. Do you get what I'm saying? In Israel, where people could go to school freely and get education, things of that nature, was there institutions at that particular time. Remember, we're talking 2,000 years ago, under Roman occupation in that particular region. That's what I'm talking about. But yeah.
But it's interesting how Peterson has decided to be globally now known as somebody who looks to stand behind a madness.
Yeah, but
he's now come out and he said, "This is who I am now, and I'm going to argue the point to the death. To the death, his convictions are unassailable." But boy, oh boy!
But it's madness to us, though, isn't it?
Yes, and that's what matters, right?
I mean,
when it is you look back at this point in history, certain things that are said are going to be recalled, right? And the position that he has taken on a few things, Israel included, for the influence that he's able to muster with his words, that's an indictment. That's a real choice he has to basically live with for the rest of his life. And as we've seen, he's moved by emotions all the time. So when his conscience hits him as to what he has done with what he's been given, he might be crying all day. He might not be able to lock that faucet off, bro. He might just be running. Because his face gets really red when he cries, you know?
Yeah.
Like it proper gets red.
I've not seen him cry for a while, only because I saw, I think, a clip of, something with Piers Morgan.
Yeah, just the other day.
Yeah, and I chose not to watch it.
Because he was crying?
Yeah, it's partly because of it.
Why? You don't think he can push masculinity and still be crying?
No, nothing to do with that. It's just more so I just don't want that sort of stuff. I don't have time for it. something else. I understand it. I understand the passion for that particular thing. I'll just let me just watch something else. You know what I'm saying? When he's back to talking about the biblical series, when he's back talking about this or some philosophical something, fantastic. If it's about, I don't even know what it's about. I just saw them push that as the trailer sort of thing for it. I said, nah, it's not for me. That's an hour that would be gone from my life. I'm sorry. So yeah.
All right then. Any other admin?
Not really. No.
All right. Let us get into the headlines.
Let's do it. All right, people. So our first headline, trigger warning, people. Trigger warning. Police have charged KG Adam Lowe, 30 years old, with 8 counts of second-degree murder after a car ramming in Vancouver. 11 people were killed and dozens more injured when a man drove an SUV into a crowd at a Filipino festival. Vigils are being held in the city this evening to honour the victims, who police say are aged between 5 and 65. These are the animals that are just... Organisers of the festival have said that they are heartbroken and collectively shattered. An exhausted and emotional RJ Aquino said that the Filipino community was left numb, sad and angry following the incident, which police have said, was not terror-related. Mabel Elmore, who is a member of the Legislative Assembly of British Columbia, MLA, for Vancouver Kensington, described the local community as resilient and said it will come together out of this catastrophe. Next headline, an interim guidance on single-sex spaces is ill-considered and impractical and should be withdrawn. This is what the Green Party has said. The guidance issued by the Equality and Human Rights Commission, the EHRC, followed the UK Supreme Court's ruling that a woman is defined by a biological sex under the Equality Act. In places like hospitals, shops and restaurants, trans women who are biological men should not be permitted to use women's facilities, but they should not be left with no facilities to use. This is what the guidance says, of course. Carla Denyer, who's a co-leader of the Green Party of England, and Wells, who is the lady who was on LBC struggling to define a woman. She said that the interim guidance, which was published on Friday following the Supreme Court ruling on the 15th of April, was rushed and ill thought out. She goes on to say it's been really obvious that they have not listened to trans people. She added that the guidance puts trans people at risk of discrimination, especially in workplaces, and seems to fly in the face of the strong tradition of tolerance we have in Britain. So Ed Davey also told the programme, and when I speak of the programme, I'm talking about Laura Koonsberg, that lots of people were confused and anxious about the guidance, for example, over which toilet a trans man, who's a biological woman, should use. Brent, that is a bit confusing though. Is it confusing? I should ask.
What do you mean?
So, what toilet should a trans man use?
So a trans man is a biological woman who turned into a new gen.
Yes. So this person's looking like us. Trans man. Yeah.
A little maskne.
Might have a
little buff.
Yeah. To be fair, that's not the confusing one. It's the other side, isn't it? Because you might just see that person when I'm not sending no shots, but wearing trousers, you know what I mean? Gymmed up, might have a beard.
What other one are you saying is more confusing?
As in a trans woman.
As in,
because a lot
used
of
to
trans
be a biological man, and now it's a new gen woman.
Yeah, still a biological man, but yeah, a new gen woman.
You said that's more confusing?
Yeah.
As in for
more
for who?
More disturbing. And I don't mean disturbing in that,
how is it more disturbing?
Because you're having somebody, I'm definitely generalizing.
Sorry, it used to be a man, right?
Yes.
And then it's okay. Because of the physical features?
Yeah.
But a lot of them don't, they look like they could pass as women, as in...
I wouldn't say a lot though.
As in OG women. As in, have you been to...
You gotta start early.
Where do they normally go, those footballers go, when the season's over and they get in trouble, the white footballers?
Oh, well, like Turkey and places? Or Spain?
No, back in the day, where the quote-unquote lady boys were.
Oh, Thailand?
Yes.
Yeah, but they're the Thailand people, innit? So they've mastered it. They've been doing it for generations now. These new ones here, like I've seen a few, and Again, respectfully,
I think
they just look like men. With
but
wigs.
that's the ones that you've seen. I think it's the ones that have been shared a bit more, right?
Let me share a bit more.
Online.
I'm talking about in real life.
Where have you seen them?
When I used to work in Hackney Council, there was a black one.
So you've seen one. When?
No, sorry.
When
sorry.
did you used to work in Hackney Council? Like 10 years ago?
There was 2.
10 years ago?
No, maybe. Oh no, but
It's a decade, man.
no, but no, now I'm thinking about it, there's 2. There's a white one, and this one obviously put on a voice like that sort of stuff, yeah. Well, a wig, and obviously we could tell, you know what I mean. So maybe now, obviously, the transitions work and the medications worked a bit better, innit, and soften up certain things. But obviously, at the time, the black one, that one just looked like you basically, but with like permed hair. Oh my days, 2 I've seen. 2 black ones. One was like a younger one, so like maybe about 22, something like that. That one was a bit less, you know what I mean, as the taller black one.
So you're saying that
one.
was a bit more difficult for OG women to stomach?
I think so, because that one just looks like you've got a masculine figure coming in. You know what I'm saying? Into the thingy. But with us as men, you just go into the toilet, mind your business, and you see somebody else with maybe a manly frame. Do you know what I'm saying?
All right, so
And you won't think about it.
When we talk about this, I'm trying to basically give a damn, right?
Yeah,
And I'm trying to wonder, is it because I don't have children as to why I don't give a damn like this?
Okay.
I'm trying to ascertain, like when people rally against it.
Yeah.
When I say it, I'm talking about, because right now Labour's doing a madness, and I seem to be more vexed with what Labour's doing than the conversation itself. When I say what they're doing, is that he basically yes,
yeah, I know, I get
that's wicked, and it's causing more fury as well.
It's also why a reminder of why we need to be mindful of the fact that things are just what they are because of social constructs and because of politics. Just like that, he's changed. Now he knows what a woman is. The day before, it was different. Can you imagine? This is what
You
they
know
do.
how bonkers that is.
That's insane. Insane. He's got a wife and kids at home. So maybe he just stumbled across her and just thought, oh, it works. Do you know what I'm saying? He didn't know what he was having.
No, I mean the danger in not like pushing out something you don't really believe in, and you know,
Happens.
penalizing people who have contrasting viewpoints as you, and making their workplace penalize them also, only for you after the weekend. Now the courts have done what they done. Nah, you understand? That is rude.
That's the reality, man.
That is rude. And obviously now, who's going to support them? Who's going to advocate for them? Who?
It's not nice, man. Us, maybe.
But this is what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
When can we get like some on the show?
I'm trying. I'm actively trying. Believe me, guys. And what's funny is, remember, probably like a year or 2 ago, people would act as though we were bad.
Who's we?
As in us in the room, innit?
What do you mean bad?
Me and you. And Max.
People like Nadia would tell us we were bad?
No, Nadia wasn't here 2 years ago. Let's be fair to her. But if she was,
How do
yes.
you know?
If she was, yes. But not her. To be fair, how do I know? It just could be a different name.
Oh, you're saying the language that you were using was kind of discriminatory towards...
No, I think people just thought we had harsh attitudes towards certain things for some reason. I remember there was a time, there was somebody who used to listen to us. You would leave comments about me saying, oh, E-Man is
no,
listen.
she still does it. She just listens like...
Oh, there you go.
I got a message the other day.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People, how? And I'm trying my
No,
best.
but she's a first advocate. And no, to be fair to her, sometimes she credits you when it is that you basically course correct.
That's right.
Because she's steadfast enough to stay long enough to basically see you change.
Listen, I'm trying to learn the new lingo, man.
And this is what happens when it is you play with them.
But we have to be careful with how we use the language. We got to be careful.
This is personal growth, bro. I've seen you change in front of my eyes.
I'm trying because fundamentally, I think one of my biggest issues was, and I think this is where I kind of agreed with Jordan Peterson to bring him back, is the policing of language. Don't tell me what I have to say. Do you know what I'm saying? I hear you saying I shouldn't call you this, but don't tell me I have to call you something else. Don't do that to me. There's a difference. And I think that's what a lot of us didn't like. Me anyway, you know what I'm saying? And also forcing something on the public. I've always said this, and again, it kind of goes back to my issue with socialism. I don't like when we try to help people by taking something from people. And I feel like as human beings, being here and having consciousness for thousands and thousands of years, we can try and be a bit more creative. Let's help people by just coming up with innovative ways to help people rather than taking and making people lose something. So for example, to bring it back now to the trans situation, let's give rights to trans women, but let's not take away from OG women.
Yeah, let's create more space, innit?
I mean,
when I say more space, like for example, Olympics and stuff, don't let it be a thing where you can hurt people because of your bloody identity politics, right? Create a separate joint, right? And give them the option. Give them the option to say, all right, if we're doing it over here and the new gens want to play with the old gens and the old gens are fine with it, let them run it. Because you made your choice. Do you understand? You've chosen. Don't complain afterwards. You've been given the choice.
But they'll never be fine with it. And yeah, because
why? Who's they?
The women.
As in OGs?
Yeah.
Well, because they're, as you said, things have been taken from them.
Yeah.
And it's been, their lived experience have been made dangerous because of it.
Exactly. And I think that's an issue. Yes, we should give rights to people because it's so silly. We're all human beings, man. Everyone should have the same damn rights. It's not even complicated. But don't take something from some other people. It's not fair.
I want to get someone on. I don't want to get the range. I'm going to get the ones that don't want to go through the surgery at all. I want to live like they want to live because they feel different, just there. And then I want the ones who are on the way. They're taking the hormone blockers and this, that, and next. And you can see that gradual change. And then the one who's got everything, got all the tools and that, right? And then I want to have a community service. This would be great. Why are you laughing?
Two things, yeah.
Not life of Bodge.
No. But I'm sure he'll come and say something. No, but Natty, big up Natty, man. He said, I'm in Thailand now. You can kind of still spot the mandem, to be fair. But be careful, lads. But then you got someone else, Makin Niam, says, my teacher once told me that the ones in Thailand all know Muay Thai.
Well, they have to, right? To protect themselves.
I've been horrified since.
To protect themselves. So don't go there looking to basically be rough-handed in that.
What? Why would you want to do that? Why not just go somewhere else and mind your business? Why go look for these people?
You do know that there are men and there are women who have their preferences and then they hate themselves after participating in their preferences.
So what does that mean?
And then they like, you know, get abusive afterwards.
No, that's not right.
I watch too much TV, man, to know that doesn't happen. It does happen.
No, but that's not right, though.
Of course it's not right.
What? That's insane.
Participating and partaking in the thing and then feeling bad about it and then chastising? Nah.
You can do that to yourself, but not to the person.
Yeah, it's not right at all.
No,
but that's why they need to know self-defense. Because there's some people who go there, right, and be acting all like judgy, right?
Yeah.
Bag them up. Pow.
What's Demi talking about? He said, I think the N-word is very different to this, not gonna lie.
N-word?
Yeah. I don't know what's going on in the chat. That's
N. What other N-word do we know?
It's only one N-word.
You think?
I think so. What else is there?
There was somebody else who I was watching some clip and I think it was a Dave Smith one with the Douglas Murray.
Okay.
And N was used. And he's like, oh, the N-word again. And then Dave Smith said, huh?
Oh, yes.
What was N? Was that N-word? It wasn't Nihilism.
Oh, man.
What was it?
It was something crazy. Oh, my goodness. It's good that the guy actually...
It wasn't New Age, was it?
No. I can't remember. It wasn't Dave Smith. I think it was.
I
that
heard it
guy.
in a Dave Smith, Joe Rogan, and Douglas Murray conversation. And
okay.
Douglas Murray said something. And then Dave Smith responding, and then Douglas Murray was like, "Oh, the N word." And then Joe Rogan said, "Who?" Never mind. Never mind. But I love it for us, man.
Yeah, man.
But I want to see sums.
You want to see what?
I want to see some on the couch, bro. And a whole room full of them. And on both sides as well.
What's the both sides part?
There is the Ogen women and there's the Ogen men.
Oh, yeah.
But people don't seem to be too fussy about the Ogen men.
I mean, there's men in it.
No, as in...
No one gives a damn about men.
No. As in the new gen men, I should say.
Yeah, once you've gone into the realm of the men part, yeah, no one gives a damn about your life.
That's crazy, you know?
It's going to remain crazy. Now it's going to change.
Is it still patriarchy yet? In play?
It must be.
Play.
It must be, man. You know everything's our fault. You know? Anyway, so our last headline quickly, man. North Korea has confirmed for the first time that it has sent troops to fight for Russia in the war with Ukraine under the orders of the country's leader, Kim Jong-un, who described the soldiers as heroes. The acknowledgement comes amid claims by the Kremlin, contested by Ukraine, that North Korean forces helped recapture Russia's Kursk region. After months of silence over the deployment, which has been widely reported in the Western media, Russia also confirmed the presence of North Korean soldiers. In a statement released on Monday, the North's KCNA state news agency quoted the ruling party as saying that the end of the battle in Russia's Kursk region showed the highest strategic level of the firm's militant friendship between North Korea and Russia. Let me read a few more headlines quickly. Donald Trump won back the Oval Office and took charge of the government and amid the strongest poll numbers of his political career. But as the 100-day mark of his presidency approaches, Americans' views of what he's done so far have turned deeply negative. This according to a new CNN poll conducted by SSRS. Trump's 41% approval rating is the lowest for any newly elected president at 100 days, dating back at least to Dwight Eisenhower. This includes Trump's own first time, right? Approval of Trump's handing of the presidency is down 4 points since March and 7 points lower than it was in late February. Just 22% say that they strongly approve of Trump's handing of the new job, which is a new low, and about twice as many say that they strongly disapprove. That's 45%. The poll finds that the president underwater and sinking across nearly all major issues he sought to address during his time in office, with the public's confidence in his abilities to handle those issues also on the decline. Next headline, an Israeli airstrike rocked southern Beirut on Sunday, soon after the military issued an evacuation warning for the Lebanese capital. Footage from Reuters showed a huge plume of smoke rising from the area shortly after 6 p.m. The target of the strike was a Hezbollah facility in Beirut where stored precision missiles, according to a joint statement from Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Defense Minister Israel Katz. Yeah, man, long story short, the Lebanese civil defense had extinguished all the fires caused by the Israeli strike and recorded no injuries. A British Paralympian has been reported missing in Las Vegas after not being seen for more than a week. Sam Ruddock from Warwickshire, who has cerebral palsy and has competed in cycling and shot put, travelled to the US on the 13th of April while planning to attend WrestleMania. This is what his friend Lucy Earle said, right? She then says, she, who's been friends with Ruddock for more than 10 years, by the way, said that the 35-year-old stayed with her the night before his flight and she last heard from him on the 16th of April. She said that she contacted police and tracked down the hostel Ruddock was staying in and was told that he did not check out when he should have or collected his belongings. And yeah, you know what? I'll leave it there for now.
Do the last one, please.
Last set?
Yes, please.
Cool. All right, people. So one of two, trigger warning. One of two women seriously injured in an attack involving a crossbow and a firearm in Leeds has undergone surgery for life-threatening injuries. Counter-terrorism police in Northeast said that the isolated incident involving the women aged 19 and 31 happened on Oatley Road in the Headingley area at about 14:47 BST on Saturday. One of the women was sent home from hospital earlier, while the other, who underwent surgery, was now in a stable condition. This is what police have said. A 38-year-old man, whose officers said was the key suspect, remains in hospital in a critical condition under police guard after suffering a self-inflicted injury. Next headline takes us to Sudan, where Sudan's paramilitary rapid support forces, RSF, says it has formed its own government as it marks 2 years of a vicious power struggle with the Sudanese army that has left tens of thousands killed and millions homeless. RSF leader Mohammed Hamdan Dagalo said that in a statement Tuesday that his militia and its civilian allies have chosen a different path and have declared the establishment of the government of peace and unity, describing it as a broad civilian coalition. We are building the only realistic future for Sudan. This is what he said, basically. By the way, his militia has been accused of genocide. The RSF began the audacious move to create a rival government in the areas under its control in February, and around that time signed a charter with political and smaller armed groups allied to it. Swaths of Sudan are controlled by the Sudanese Armed Forces, the SAF, but almost all of Darfur, which is a region roughly the size of France, is held by the RSF. And our last headline, images of Pope Francis's tomb at the Santa Maria Maggiore Church in Rome have been released. A single white rose was pictured lying on the stone tomb that bears the name he was known by during his pontificate. Below, a crucifix illuminated by a single spotlight. The late Pope was laid to rest at the church, one of 4 major basilicas in the Italian capital, and one he would regularly visit during his time as cardinal and pontiff. Thousands of mourners have been filing past the tomb since the church opened to the public on Sunday morning to pay their respects to Pope Francis, who died aged 88 on Monday. The basilica sits near the Colosseum, which is a stone's throw from the city's endless, bustling and chaotic central Termini station, well beyond the limits of the Vatican, where popes are traditionally entombed. But it was one that the South American pontiff had a long-held affinity for. Yeah, that's it for the headlines, man. Ben, you ready to go on topic of the day?
Yeah. Just before we move on, have you heard of some Antichrist figure? I call him Antichrist only because that's how it is that he was kind of positioned when I saw the video. That has followers. I think his father's from Egypt, his mom's from America, or something like that. And he has followers. I'll try and find the clip. And he claims that the prayers of his followers was what killed the Pope.
Serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Interesting.
I've never really watched too many cult documentaries, innit? But in my mind, like it's a thing of the hippie era of recent, of late, right? In my mind, it doesn't still happen like that today. Maybe like in country, like in America, you know, like the moment on that. But I still feel as though they're a bit more modernized, right? So when I saw this, and I saw the earnestness on these people's faces whilst they looked at their savior, and they were kind of dressed like him. The men were there, the women were there. The woman, their faces looked like they were about to give it up. Just wanted him to just, as soon as you finish. And when he would say something, they'd go,
Who's this guy?
I'll show you. And then he would just do this, and he would stop. And I'm thinking, what has he shown you? What kind of power has he shown you for you all to be so latched in?
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yep.
I'm like, wow, that's some powerful stuff, man.
This is it.
But let me find the clip and show you what I'm talking about. I'm surprised. And then obviously he pointed. One of his miracles was that he killed the Pope.
I mean, he's dead. Is he black?
Nope.
White. Serious. Okay.
Do you say he's white?
Yeah, I'm asking.
Nope.
What is he?
I think he's a mix.
Black and white?
Nope. I don't think he's black.
Yeah, I know.
I think he has some Arab in him.
Oh, is it?
I think so.
Okay.
Unless you're saying Arabs are white.
No, I can't talk about what everybody else is, isn't it? I only know what I am and what black people are. And even that is a problem for some people. So
Me fine.
I try to get out of those discussions.
I definitely watched it on YouTube. I get sent so much rubbish. And obviously my the way my play is set up, I have to watch these things because I feel like as though I'm missing something I need in my bank. But let's move on to the topic of the day whilst I look for this.
Cool. All right, people. So, you know what? I feel like this topic of the day is just going to bleed into the reaction, to be fair. Yeah, the gift and the curse of a legacy, man, of having a family name, trying to live up to it, but also the external factors that also play a part in it. There was a clip that I wanted Ben to play, but you can play that afterwards. And this is essentially going to be about Eubank. It's going to be about Benn. It's going to be about Sanders and whatnot. Big up Ed. He basically gave me a lot of information over the weekend about what's happening with a gentleman by the name of Shador Sanders, who's basically the son and the college quarterback of Deion Sanders, who's a legend, as you guys know, prime time. And basically, he didn't get picked till the 5th round. He didn't get picked to the 5th round. So there's different rounds. And basically, I guess people were expecting that he should easily be picked in the 1st round of the NFL draft. This is what Ed made me aware of. I'm seeing different opinions on this, though. People are saying, I mean, he's good, but he's not first round pick.
All right.
Okay, 1 second, people.
Named the first of his successors, and he named the last as well, the Comforter. He said, "Therefore I'm sending you prophets and sages and teachers. Some of them you will kill and crucify, others you will flog in your synagogues and pursue from town to town." He also said, because of this, God in his wisdom said, "I will send them prophets and apostles, some of whom..."
Look, just... And the men are just like him, right?
"They will kill, and others they will..."
Look at this one. She's like, oh, put your phallus in my mouth.
This guy.
"will persecute."
Look, they're locked in.
Clearly, Jesus ﷺ spoke of prophets who would come after him, and he named the chief among them. "Nevertheless, I tell you the truth. It is expedient," Jesus said, "for you that I go away, for if I go not away, the Comforter will not come unto you."
I'm watching, I'm thinking, you can do so much rewiring of a human being's mind
100%.
for them to be tools that you can wheel at your disposal.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it's so dangerous to go out there, have influence, have the power of the tongue, right? The power of manipulating thoughts into like coercive words, and then just lead people.
People are in need of things, man. That's it. That's all there is to it, man. People are in need of things.
When are you going to start your following?
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
You don't plan? Do you have any plans at all? So it just happens by default. You just get a little group starting on Discord, then they kind of fall into Reddit, and then you come back and it's like 10,000 strong, just Imanakites.
This guy. I don't even know.
What would you do with so much power, bro? How would you kind of
10,000 people?
10,000.
If you're a president, how many people you got?
A president?
Yeah, if you're a president, it's a bit more, innit?
Don't jump. Baby steps, man. You gotta start somewhere, right? Because that's somewhere. I mean, that's more than like local gangs. That's more than Match Tongue.
I'm not interested in that sort of stuff, man.
You wouldn't use them for good?
Use what for good? The people.
You
for
have
good.
a group of people looking to basically
I don't have-
follow your word and whatnot. Just go and tell them to do good stuff.
I'm not need to send them
If
to do
they're
anything.
listening to you anyway, follow them.
but
Let them
it's
follow
not
you.
a case of me sending them to do anything. I'll just tell them. I'll just talk to them like how I'm talking now. It's normal stuff, innit? Let's all better ourselves, man.
You find it uncomfortable having power and influence.
I find it.
Do you feel you're a leader?
I don't have any. Of
You
it,
can
so
be a
I don't
leader.
know. I don't have any of it now, so I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
There's the humidity coming up now, yeah.
I don't know what you're talking
I
about.
love it, man. More of the same, more of the same. All right, cool. Sanders,
Yes.
so they have a clip to play.
Yeah. You can just pause it though, and then just give a
right.
bit more context and whatnot. So yeah, like I was saying, first round, people saying some people said he's first round pick, or at least around that ballpark, innit? But fifth round, nah, it's diabolical, right? So I'm just gonna read out certain things that Ed sent me. Like I said, he gave me a very extensive background information on this, so big him up every time.
Every single time.
But there's a lot of drama around this whole situation, hence us talking about it now, innit? Apparently, some of the teams are apparently nervous, because of a few things. And this is what is building into the whole thing. They say that this guy, Shador Sanders, acts kind of cocky in interviews with teams, like he knows he's good, he isn't shy about it, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people have done that, to be fair. But rumors are that he and his family, especially his dad, told teams that Shador only wants to play for certain teams, basically picking where he wants to go in it, right? Which doesn't usually go over well, yeah? In this sort of, in this game. Also, some people say that he talked badly about particular teammates when things went wrong at Colorado, blaming others instead of taking the blame himself. Why should he take the blame himself though if he didn't do it? But again, you know what I mean? This is what people are saying, because obviously I guess he contributed to it. Now, in the NFL, if you're super talented, a lot of teams will overlook this sort of stuff in it because they need you. They see the benefit in you being in their team, innit? They don't really care about your attitude if you can help them win, right? But this particular guy, like I said, he's good in it. But some people just don't consider him next level elite. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not his dad. You know what I'm saying? He's not, I guess, generational talents. And that's the clip I wanted you to play in it. So this is a YouTube clip. And this guy, it's just a quick short, basically talking about the situation.
Oh, sorry, hold up. Good morning, Ed.
Good morning, Ed. Good morning, Ed. Yeah, we'll play the clip first.
NFL 100% said, you're not bigger than us. You forget you want to come play in our league. Was Shedeur Sanders the #1 quarterback in the NFL draft this year? Hell no. Was he a first-round draft pick? Hell no. Was he a fifth-round draft pick? Hell no. Shedeur Sanders was one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the NFL draft this year. Probably should have went second or third round at the latest. To me, this was definitely the NFL versus the Deion Sanders brand. Didn't participate in the NFL Combine. Yes, being cocky in some situations can hurt you. The NFL took this as a moment to say, hey, we're going to humble you a little bit. I think Shedeur Sanders is going to have an outstanding career in the NFL. Hall of Fame selection? No. Do I think he might have a year, maybe 2, where he wins an All-Pro? Yes, that's definitely reasonable. He's actually a pretty good quarterback. He was no Travis Hunter. He wasn't no generational talent. He wasn't his dad. He wasn't no generational talent. He definitely wasn't no Johnny Manziel who led Texas A&M to beat Alabama. Was not Cam Newton that beat Alabama in the Iron Bowl. But yeah, that level of cockiness that he had was a bit much for who he was. Everybody that says he got snubbed because he didn't go in the first round, stop it. He was a good quarterback. He just wasn't first round good. NFL 100%.
There you go. So that's the opinion there. So to me, it sounds like he's a bit balanced in it. Like he's part of the game and whatnot, innit? And he's like, okay, cool. There's definitely something happening here. Ed, is Ed?
Good morning, White Rob. Nobody's here.
Morning, boys.
Yo,
Good morning, good morning.
Oh, they're here. Hello, boys. Give us some energy, please, this Monday morning. Yay.
what's up?
Congrats, Ed, with Crystal Palace and that.
Hey, I'm still buzzing, bro. Still buzzing. I had tears in my eyes.
Come
It's my
on.
team as well.
Come on.
Serious? You lot support Crystal Palace?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
They're wavy, man. Good morning, Chijoke.
Morning.
All right, we're gonna deep dive into father-son relationships. I hope you guys are ready to be emotional, are ready to dig deep and touch those parts of the human existence, human experience, the male human experience that you haven't probably touched. Well, Ed probably has.
I'm a father of
Chijoke
a
probably
son,
has.
so
I don't think Black Rob cries.
I'm a girl
He sees
dad,
that as
so,
weakness.
Let's be fair.
All right, cool. So what we doing? What we doing, Emmanuel?
Yeah, guys, talk to us, man. Ed, you sent me the topic and stuff. So yeah, please give us your thoughts, man.
So, long story short, I think like the big issue with the NFL is like you say, it's the Sanders brand, and there's like the fact that Shador, what's it called? Like he values himself and his what's the word? Not willing to conform and not willing to like devalue himself in any way, shape, or form. He's coming. I personally, the reason why I said he was first round is because there was like mock drafts and there was all these like talks beforehand, like in the week or two beforehand, where they were also putting him in the first round somewhere. They were also saying somewhere in the first round he's going to get picked up, and then very slowly as it got close to the draft, all these sort of I say smear campaigns sort of started on his name. So that's when all these sort of leaks came out about interviews and issues that he's had in terms of teammates and where to. So that went from him being rumored to be first round to then just everyone was like, oh, we don't know where he's going to go. So, but I personally think he's good enough to be a first or second round pick. But yeah, but then back to the main thing. It's a thing where because he understands his brand and because he's established enough to know what he brings to the table. Like the NFL don't want that. Like especially not from a black player. Like Shador represents a lot of things that they would hate. Like the fact you've got a black college player who's a Nappa baby, who's actually good. Like who's coming there going like, yeah, no, I'm setting my own rules, I'm setting my own boundaries, whatever. I'm doing my thing here. That's something they're like, no, we can't have that. I don't think, like I said to you, I don't think they did like a secret meeting where it's like, oh, we're gonna find a way to get him in the 5th round. I think they just went, no, just smear campaign in a minute. Just put out stuff, let the whispers go to these teams, let people hear, these rumors, and hopefully the teams will go, you know what, he seems like he's got a lot of trouble. We don't want to deal with all that stuff. We don't want to deal with Dion. We don't want to deal with that red test. They just sort of all just justified letting him fall down the drop, and like. He goes from, like I'd say he's probably the second or third, probably best quarterback in the draft. Like, man who are like, it would be like the equivalent of like, freaking. I'm trying to figure a reference to you. So it'd be like picking. It'd be like you got Cesc Fabregas and someone picked the Nielsen over freaking Cesc Fabregas. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the levels of man who are going above him. So it's very clear that the smear campaign was working. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's it.
Okay, thanks for that.
Yeah.
I think also that he didn't help himself. Like there was a smear campaign, but he didn't help himself. Like before you get drafted, they do interviews with the different teams, and then you do a combine, which is where you do like a physical test where you do run in, jump in, all this stuff to see. He didn't participate in the combine because the combine is optional. He didn't. He went to interviews with teams, but he had in mind specific teams he wanted to go to. So he basically went to certain interviews, and before the interviews, they normally send you like a packet with like plays to learn, so they can talk to you about like, oh, what do you think of this play? Like, it's like a little bit of a test just to see what you understand of the sport from like a mental perspective. He came unprepared, and he hadn't got answer for the questions because he'd already kind of like, do you know when you go for like 3 job interviews? And the first one goes well, and the other 2 you don't want, so you just kind of like don't even bother learning all the stuff or doing the presentation for the other 2. That's kind of like what they said it happened. So he'd already come in with like, I'm not coming here anyway, so I can just blow off this interview.
Sorry, go on.
And then third of all, like he like I was on the bandwagon saying Shador's being mistreated, but then after a while I kind of get where, because some of the NFL coaching is probably, head coach jobs in the NFL is probably more what's the word, harder to keep than even like football manager jobs, and there's only 32 jobs. It's not like you can go to a lower league if you don't do well. So there's a high turnover with these coaches. So if you have a coach that wants that actually may like him, they might think, oh, I don't want to get this guy in because his dad is such a big name. When you have someone on the bench, if I start him and he's crap, then I'm in trouble. If I put him on the bench and the starter is crap, then there's going to be so much media attention to try and get him to start. That happened with Team Tebow, and there's been lots of situations where the quarterback on the bench, because they got such a big cachet, the audience, the fans, basically bully the coach into starting them when they shouldn't have started them because they want to see that person start. So I think they just didn't want like a media whirlwind. And his dad is doing too much a lot because his dad was doing podcast interviews saying, "Yo, my son's not going to go to this city. He's not going to that city. He's going to go to specific cities because I don't like the organization there." He was basically shitting on a lot of organizations. So they weren't helping themselves.
Oh man, who was in the chat? Chizuke, innit? Thanks for that, Black Rob. Chizuke, talk to us, please, mate.
I mean, if we're talking about Sanders specifically, I would say I'm not saying Black Rob's wrong, but I think in terms of the interviews, you have to say allegedly. I don't think we can say this young man went there and didn't know anything or specifically messed up because he didn't want to go to a certain team. But I will say that there was a clip of Dion saying, because of how much he knows about the NFL, how much he's in the NFL and being a legend and knows organizations, there's certain organizations he doesn't want to take his son to because he wants his son to have the best career he can have. And I think that was taken as you can't say that because your son isn't as talented as you think he is. And I think that was what they were trying to do. Obviously, they shouldn't have done where they can say to him, you're only as good as a 5th round pick, which is insane because you're essentially saying to him, by the time the season starts, you might not have a team because they can cut you before then.
They can what, sorry?
So that they can cut you before the season starts because they have a training camp and he has to now compete with another quarterback that they drafted before him. So he went to the Cleveland Browns and they drafted a quarterback before him. And he now has to compete with him where they can go, oh, we're going to get this guy and you've got to go find another team.
Yeah, this is that's something I was going to bring up. That's my little conspiracy theory that they brought him to Cleveland for that reason.
Yeah,
they wanted him. They want him to have to. They want the chance that he might get cut, so they can just sort of that extra exclamation point. You know what I mean? In terms of making
they
sure
can just say they tried.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
but he did it himself. He did it himself.
No, I'm not saying Shador plays no part in what happened. Like, I ain't gonna say Shador plays no part in what happens. But at the same time, some of the stuff that you brought up is stuff that we've seen. Maybe not, but maybe yes, those guys were better than Shador. But we've seen those things done in terms of like the top picks don't go to the combine. Top picks didn't do well in interviews. You know, we've seen picks where their dads were heavily involved. Like we think of the Manning family. Like the Manning family were very much involved. The Matthews family very much involved in where their kids go. You know, like these things have been done.
That's a good point. That's a good point. But we've never seen all these things all together.
Yeah,
so like the Manning family, for example,
by a black family as well, and by a black family on top of that. So like these.
But that's where I think he had the disadvantage though, Ed, because him coming originally from the HBCU and then going into this Colorado, it was like a season, was it a season or 2 seasons? And so they're saying, well, based on the fact that it wasn't like you had a lot of like big teams or teams we would consider big in the college stage. And when you did, you didn't do as well as you should have done. But at the same time, we can go, well, this team wasn't that good when he got there. There was like, when you look.
But do you know what I know is like people understand. If you understand the temperament of the employer and then you don't play the game, why did you get annoyed when you don't get the outcomes you want? So if you know that, like, if he just acted a bit more pious, a bit chill, even if that's not his real temperament, if he just goes to the interviews, acts pious, does the game, he would have been a 1st or 2nd round pick.
But Black Rob, we don't know if he actually went in there and did what they're saying.
It's the smear campaign stuff. That's the thing. We don't know exactly what happened. It could very much be he was completely unprepared and he knew nothing and was just acting up. Or it could just be they asked him a certain question, he maybe stumbled through, and then they're able to try and twist that. You know what I mean? Like, we
The
don't know.
the only reason why I'm liable to believe them is because the Steelers don't have a quarterback, and they still don't have a quarterback to this day. And then Mike Tomlins, they got black head coach, they got lots of black staff. So and they also they're known for hiring like players that are bad breeds, basically, like Antonio Browns and Le'Veon Bell. They don't mind a project. And Shador's not even a bad person. He's just a bit arrogant, but he's not like he hasn't got no like DUIs. He hasn't killed no one. But you know what I'm saying? So even for the Steelers to even not pick him says something about maybe there's something going on. Do you know what I mean? Because they don't mind hiring someone that has stuff on their records and stuff like that. And they need a quarterback.
Yeah, I think
but I feel like
Tomlin was a physical thing, innit? He said that physically he wasn't a quarterback. They wanted or something like that. I remember that.
Yeah, so it's a combination of things. It's like
that's what they were saying.
Yes, what they're saying.
Yeah.
You have to be a generational talent, and if you're generational talent and arrogant, you get away with it. If you're above average quarterback and you're arrogant and your dad is in everyone's business and you don't show up the combines and you know what I mean? It's all the things together. Then it's like, come on, man.
But yeah, that's the question I was even asked the man. We were brought up to a man yesterday. Was the whole thing of like what you just said was the thing of, is it better that the Sanders family had conformed and been successful and just sort of, kept it, just made themselves low, made themselves humble, did it quietly and got him first or second round? Or is it better that they didn't change, they didn't conform, they stood on 10 toes and they've failed, and yes, they may have failed, but in terms of allowing kids, especially black college kids, to look at themselves and go, no, I can approach these men with value, like I should be able to approach these men with value, and just to hope that sort of, is the spark that eventually starts bringing more and more black players to sort of look at themselves and go, hey, like, yeah, let me step up and value myself when I come into these places. Maybe not exactly how he did it, but be more willing to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, is it more important? Bigger picture?
I think it's showing that if you try and take on the establishment, you lose. So why don't you play the game, get inside, and then be like, ta-da, I lied. I'm actually gonna. Do you know what I mean? I'm actually gonna. You show your hand afterwards. You don't show your hand before. Do you know? Because everyone keeps going about Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning's dad only advocated for him after he got drafted. He didn't act like a nuisance before. He must have had all the faults that he had, but he knows how to play the game.
That's what I mean. The nuisance is different. That's what I mean. So Dion gets looked at as a nuisance for what he's doing, but you sit there and go, "God, yeah, Archie Manning does things a different way." Archie Manning didn't go and obviously there wasn't social media back then, but Archie Manning was still, having meetings with people, having conversations with people. Maybe not forced, maybe not, so loudly, so publicly, but he was still doing stuff behind the scenes.
But I said he advocated for him after his son got drafted. He waited for him to get picked, and then he said, "Okay, here's my demands. Haha, I'm already in."
Yeah, that's public though. That we don't know what happened.
I don't know if that's how it went down. Yeah. I think he said specifically to San Diego, "Don't draft Eli. He's not coming." And they said, "Bet, we've got the first pick. We're going to draft him." They're like, "Well, he's not going to play." And I'm just like, I don't think a black person would be able to get away with that. And that's the problem I think people are saying.
No, because he did it to one particular city. He didn't go around to... Anyway, that says allegedly, isn't it? Allegedly.
Yeah.
Right. But they had a strategy. Basically, with the Mannings, they wanted him to go to the Giants. They knew the team they wanted him to go, and they knew that the Giants had a pick lower. So they'd already planned with the Giants, like, I'm going to dissuade the specific... It was a specific strategy. It wasn't like, oh, I don't want him to go to that one. He said because the Chargers were gonna pick him and then they use him as leverage to the Giants because they knew the Giants wanted him. Do you know what I'm saying?
I want to ask you guys, what is the benefit of these guys kind of not conforming to, I guess, the standards and everything in the NFL? What's the benefit? It's not like they're gonna break away and form their own football league, or at least I'm assuming that, innit? So what really is the benefit? Are they just trying to move like rogues in the NFL, or what? Like, for what?
That is a good question. What's the benefit? I would like to hear from the other guys.
Yeah, no, to me, I think whether it's consciously or subconsciously, I think Dion and the family look at themselves like the Mannings do, like the Matthews family. They look at themselves as football royalty and feel like, we should be able to step in the room and be able to command the same way these lot do. And be able to step in these spaces and be proudly who we are, and know our value, know our worth, and be able to come to these rooms. You know, like that was their goal, is to come to those rooms and be able to say like, no, we deserve to be in these rooms and do it our way. Like that was
I
their
think
goal.
there's a way to do it though. I think you can do all of that, but there's a way to do it and maximize what you want to get out of it.
Yeah, there's the way, but there's
feel
the
the
way.
NFL's shown they're not always that way though, and
Yeah,
I feel
that's-
like what has also not helped is the NIL money coming in, because now it's like you've got to negotiate differently with these kids, and you're talking about this is the guy that's coming from a well-off family that's already royalty in the NFL.
Yeah, he don't need their validation. That's a problem for them. He didn't need their validation. Like they've been used to a certain way of, hey, we are gonna make these boys start. We make these boys stars. We make them who they are. Like Shador's coming who he is. Shador can't be. You can't make him conform into your way of thinking. You can't make him feel it. You can't make him value himself any less than he does, or any more than he does.
It sounds bad, man, but as a coach, would you want to pick him? Would you want to pick him knowing that he's like you? Basically, what you're saying is that you can't. I won't say control him, but you can't dangle the carrot in front of him. So you can't motivate someone that he's rich already. He doesn't answer to the team. He's got his own. He's already started building his own brand. You can tell his head somewhere else. Like, you know, when he got drafted, the first thing he did was host some like really big party with like all these rappers, and it's like. It doesn't. I don't know, man. Because I know. I keep bringing it back to race, but then again, there's white boys doing the same exact thing. That the biggest, best example I can think of was Johnny Manziel. Yeah, I knew you were gonna say that. Yeah.
Party boy, even before he got drafted, you know, was out here partying with everybody, living the celebrity lifestyle. Had the nickname Johnny Football. Was the big star going into the thing, and it did cost him a little bit. It got him. He was meant to be like top 3, and then he ended up being like bottom of the first round. But it's still a thing of people went, yo, like he didn't care. Like they still allowed him to be his brand and come in as the brand he was, because they know, based on paper, they knew what his ability was, and they knew he could generate money. And
he won the Heisman, didn't he?
Yeah. But But there's people who haven't won the Heisman who's got first round as well. In terms of his ability to generate money, his ability to play, like those things superseded over drama. Even at that point, I think he was getting investigated by the NCAA. He had DUIs, like all that stuff. People knew he was on drugs, like, but they still let that stuff go, because them, when it comes to the white boys, it's the thing of, yo, like his brand is like whatever his brand is, cool. Can he make me money and can he win me games? Is what their goal was. That was their focus. And I sit there and go, Shador, that should be the same premise for Shador. Like, and then I go, does Shador's talent, if I'm Matt Tomlin, I don't know obviously what his offense structure, like how he's trying to structure his offense this season. But if I feel like I can structure an offense around Shador, I'm doing that. Like, I'm bringing him in. If I got to deal with Dion, if you're not as a coach able to deal with headstrong players, I don't think you should be a coach. Like, at the end of the day, like, you've got 40 men there, there's going to be egos there. There's never not going to be egos. Like, this, you know what I mean? Some are more public with the egos and some are not. But you got to be able to deal with it. Coach. And I get it, there's a high turnover.
Yeah, but there's a cost benefit analysis. Like, if you got a big ego, but you're an average player, then it's like, if he was generational talent, as you said, they would have accepted all this crap. But it's like, you can't be just above average and behaving like that at the same time. You have to be really good and then be a dickhead.
That narrative is now stick that he's just above average. Whereas, again, a few months ago, everyone was like, yo, he's probably top 2.
He's top 3.
He's top 3.
He's top 3, but it's a weak class. It's a weak class. Let's be real. It's a weak QB class.
It's not weak. We're not going to sit there and act like these men are meaty. Like, all these men are meaty. There's some men.
The weak QB class is.
But we sit there and go, in terms of last year, if we directly compare it to last year, is it weaker than last year's class? Yes. But in terms of
they said it was.
And it's going to be weaker than next year's class. It's a weak class.
But in terms of overall, who's currently in the league, Shador is in a similar level to maybe Dak when he got to the league, but maybe Tua when he got to the league. He's at a similar level to them lot, and those guys can be starters. Now, you know, so you sit there and go. So clearly, there is a room for someone like Shador to be a starter. I'm not saying he's elite, top tier, generational. There's clearly room for a Shador type player to be a starter.
But, okay, question: if he was your son, would you tell him to just play the game right now? Once you get in, do what you want, or would you tell him no? Do what you're doing now. You're be the flashy guy you are. Do it with your chest and and they're gonna just take what you get. Do you know what I mean?
Me as I am.
No, that's what Dion said to him, though.
Exactly, that's the thing. Prime is different, and I don't think he exactly says that. But But then we've all seen Prime on TV. Like
Exactly.
he is who he is, and I'd assume he's gonna raise his kids the way he is. Like you know what I mean? You know, so I'm not in the.
I'm saying, what would you do in this situation, prime situation, if you were your friend?
I've not had the career, had the lifestyle, understand the game like Dion does. So for me, obviously, I can just only go with the person I am. Yeah, the person I am naturally, I'll go, hey, do like you said, do the humble thing, and then hopefully, you can sneak in the door and then be able to be like, I'm not as humble as you thought.
So exactly. So if the strategy that he employed didn't get him the outcome that he wanted, didn't he do his son a disservice?
I hear the logic of what you're saying. I'm not saying that it's not it's quote unquote a disservice. I do hear the logic of what you're saying, but at the same time, who am I to tell a man to conform to make you conform just because they want you to play the game the way they want them to play? It's like, if that's not what you're built to do, then why should you? Like, if you believe that you are, a strong enough breed in terms of everything you're doing, both in front on the field and behind the scenes. And strong of brand, I meant to say, on the field and behind the scenes. Why wouldn't you? Like, if I was in their situation, I sit there and go, maybe I would have as much chest as Dion did and be out there saying what I said.
But then aren't you kind of proving the coach's point in the fact that he's doing all this bravado stuff because maybe he's got safety net? Maybe there's a QB that's a couple rounds below that because he ain't got the safety net that Shadorza, he's going to be a bit more hungry, and then maybe I'll pick that guy because there's a bit more fire in his belly because he's not just sitting in silk sheets. Yeah, but no one's then. But that's the thing. No one can tell me anything about Shador in terms of what he done at Colorado, what he did in the HBCU, everything before, and in terms of showing that he doesn't have hunger and work ethic. Like that's not one conversation that's come up that people go, oh, like he's not showing any hunger, he's been lazy, he's been this and the other. It's only literally this last.
He didn't have to do this.
Do you know what I mean? This last week, it all suddenly became a thing of, oh, well, maybe he's got that silver spoon in his mouth now. He's not this and the other. It's like up to this point. Yeah, the guy had a set path that could have got him straight there the way they wanted him to get there. He said, "No, I want to go work with my dad, and it's going to be the team isn't that good. I'm still going to go work with my dad and go." What I just don't get is that if you're armed with the information that optics may dictate how you are placed in the draft, wouldn't you play the game to optimize the optics so that even if you're being a fake version of yourself, do it for a little bit. If it's worth hundreds of millions of pounds, I'll. I mean, look at what we do for like job interviews. I mean, if it's worth hundreds of million pounds, just play the game and then get in and then do what you want. It's just ego. That's all I see it as.
Go on.
I
was just gonna say, do you guys feel like this is maybe his attempt to kind of step out from his father's shadow? Because obviously, I don't know. I'm just listening to you guys.
No, he's not stepping out. I think the problem is that his dad is like his dad is quite Eubank-esque in the fact that he's like even now. I think I've read something this morning about how his dad was saying that he wants to have a meeting with the Browns just to let him know. Do you know what I mean? Like his dad is everything that they were worried about. I think his dad is going to do.
Okay, so his dad is like proper, like very much involved, isn't it?
It's helicopter parenting.
His dad's definitely involved in his career heavily. No doubt in that. I was going to bring it to you and
can I just say though, his dad was his head coach, so those kind of things happen all the time with head coach that talk to the other teams and say, "Well, this is how he played. This is the kind of background that you might need to do. These are the kind of plays that we think he'd be comfortable in." That happens all the time.
You think the comments going to be like that, or he's more advocating for his son to start? Which one is?
Well, because of who he is, that's probably why you would say it would be a bit different. But in the end of the day, they still have to have the conversation with him as the head coach.
Yeah. Also, I was going to bring to Iman and Brent just quickly to say, it's just in a more general thing, in terms of being a disruptor in general, because obviously what you lot are doing is being disruptive. Like, we sit there and go, do you conform to what Rob's thinking in terms of, like you lot can do this quietly and humbly and keep it low, or be as loud as you are able to be, and and take what comes with being loud and as you're trying to disrupt and change things. You know what I mean?
I think it's a bit different though. Correct me if I'm wrong, because me personally, it's not like I'm trying to be like part of the whole media podcasting scene sort of thing, isn't it? So it's not one of those things where it's like, okay, cool, if this doesn't work for me, I'm gonna go and try and get a job at BBC. I'm not interested in none of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to create something that we can use that's going to benefit our people. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to in any way be part of what already exists. And I think that's it's a bit different. With these guys like the Sanders, the Eubank and Benn, it's not like they're trying to create their own thing. They're trying to be part of something, but also step out and be seen as a almost like a powerful independent entity within that same structure. With this is like separate. We're not trying to be in the same sort of thing, or at least as individuals anyway, we're definitely not. But yeah, I'm not too sure if that answers the question. It's a bit different. And so for us,
I hear you.
Yeah, you
I just want being in, because you're going to have to still be in rooms with people. God, you're not, quote unquote, you're not dealing in the same sort of institution that you're setting up your own thing. But just in terms of being in certain rooms with people where you have to, you're going to be talking to, people about investment and like you're going to be in rooms with people who, will naturally be like, hey, we think you should be doing things this way and that way, and this is how we should move for us to want to invest in you and whatnot. Like, and if you're, what I mean, that's what we just in that sort of sense.
I mean, I definitely get where you're coming from, but I think it all depends, because sometimes it may seem like compromise to people on the outside, but sometimes it's just wisdom. You know what I mean? Like somebody saying, yo, I've been doing this for 50 years. Like the people that you think are X, Y, Z that you look up to and that you think never compromised at any stage, no, they kind of did. You know what I'm saying? But you may not see it as compromise. It might just be using wisdom. You know what I'm saying? On how to maneuver in particular places, as long as you're not compromising what you stand for. And I think it's a bit different, but in terms of us like being disruptors and really causing a disturbance, that's what we're gonna do, man. 100%. 100%.
And also, we keep talking about, like, in these situations, these are athletes that are trying to play a sport. There's not like they're not trying to do something altruistic. It's not like Colin Kaepernick where he had a higher cause and then, like, I would probably be on the other side of the argument if there's like a higher. This is a young guy that's rich already that wants to play a sport for lots of money, and he's just it's like refusing to wear a tie to court kind of thing. It's like you know how the system is, and you know how to maximize the system, but in your rebellious nature, you're gonna go, nah, I'm gonna do it my way, and then you get penalized for it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, what was the bigger goal that you're trying to achieve? There's not some like, maybe they might repurpose it as this is a fight for the black man and all that stuff. But yeah, whatever, man. Like, it's not. There's already the bare black quarterbacks. That fight has been fought. You just want to fight for the right to not have to jump through some of the hoops that other people did.
I think we have to be careful with that fight as we fought, considering what happened to Colin. But okay.
Yeah, you have to be careful about what. Sorry, say that again.
I was saying the fight has been fought, considering what happened to Colin Kaepernick.
No, not that fight. Sorry, I meant the fight as in like, getting black quarterbacks in the game and stuff like that. I don't mean about like racial inequality and all stuff. I was talking about like Colin Kaepernick had a real like fight cause that he was fighting for. So I didn't articulate what I meant. I was saying two different things.
No, but what I'm saying is, in terms of that specifically, I think there's still a way that they look at the black quarterback. Like, we got to remember what happened to Lamar as well. That was a huge controversy where they were 100%. Like, he should come in as a running back or wide receiver. I'm like, baby, he's insane.
Yeah, no, they disrespected Lamar, 100%.
Yeah,
that one I'll give you. Shador, he's got too much dip on this chip, man.
I feel like we're going down a really weird road, though. Like, I don't think I should make him feel bad for being confident, and I feel like that's
no. He should never feel bad for feeling confident, but no, it's a multitude of things. You have to be undeniable if you behave the way he behaves. Unfortunately,
but see, that's the thing. Behave the way he behaves. It's not. He's not done anything quote unquote wrong. Like, he's not done anything that people haven't done before him. The problem is he is who he is and has done those things. That is the thing. So it's such a we can sit there and go, the things he's done. There are guys who literally are on drugs, being women, this is in college, getting drafted in the first round, second round, starting to this day. Like, there are guys who actually do wrong things.
Are they elite though? Ed, are they elite?
Yeah, some of them have been elite. You know what I mean? Like, some of them have been elite in terms of in terms of their like their status. Like like you think of a great example like Ray Rice, who's like one of the greatest in his position, and literally there's a body on his head like this. These are like real things. Like you know what I mean. Like granted, he's no longer here because he's gone to he killed himself. But Aaron Hernandez.
Elite. Manning's elite. Is Shador in that class?
Problem, but but I'm saying, these are like serious problems. Like he had serious problems, not killing people yet. But
I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but is Shador in their class?
No, I'm not saying Shador is in their class, but I'm just saying in terms of. I think it's again this whole now we want to draw for the comparing the classes. This didn't happen with these guys. We don't go but. In Manziel's class or in Lamar's class or in Joe Burrow's class.
No, I mean in their class. I mean in their caliber. Is he their caliber? Is he in their caliber?
No. But I'm saying in terms of when these other guys were doing things that Shador has done, like no one was going. But but look at the people from their class and look at and then compare it to this class. It's like no, it's the thing of that. But now the narrative's out there that now it's like well now we have to look at in terms of previous draft classes and what's going on with there. You know what I mean? It's the thing of, again, when Shador's not done anything wrong. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's not done anything wrong in terms of, he's pissed people off. He's rubbed people's shoulders wrong. But, he's not done anything wrong, quote unquote. Like,
you're right. But I think we agreed on the fact that if they put me or you in Shador's shoes, you would have navigated in a way that you would have probably still got the first round pick just by behaving a little bit differently, not playing any differently, just the things you did outside of the field, just doing a little bit differently, and you would have got the first. So if you know that what he didn't do the things he needs to do to get the first round pick, then it's on him and his dad, isn't it? If you know what they want,
you know what? Yeah. Lifebot says something in the chat. Yeah, tell me what you guys think of this. He said we watched Brony, LeBron's son. Did I say LeBron? LeBron's son, sit there quietly while LeBron made all these moves to secure his future, and he's still getting cooked. Does Lifebot have a point?
It's a different situation.
So different, yeah.
The only reason I say that is it's more now. I think it's more of the level. So I think no one was really saying that Bronny should be drafted. That was a real conversation. Should he be drafted? I think Shador he should be drafted.
Yeah.
But are we going to take him as a first round? To drop him all the way to fifth is where it's like, no, you took liberties.
Yeah. The conversation for Shador should solely have been, was he going first round or second round? That should have been the only conversation for him in terms of what he's, in terms of his ability, in terms of what he can bring to a team. That should be the only conversation in terms of is he going first or second round. Everything beyond that was, to me, is part of the smear campaign to intentionally humble that family, intentionally make sure that specifically, I think specifically black college kids don't look at Shador as like, oh, like this is somebody like coming through doing it his way. Let me go and stand on business and do it that way as well, and not conform as well. Like they don't want that from black college kids coming in the NFL to think that they can, especially like Rob said, now the college money that they're getting and their ability to build brands in college, they do not want that whatsoever. To have the idea of a black Tom Brady coming through, or
Tom Brady wasn't like that when he came through. Right? He was. Who do you think's to blame for him dropping down to 5?
Specifically down to 5. Yeah. I've said before. I think the smear campaign plays a big part. I think Dion and their quote unquote, whatever you want to call it, their antics, their talk, whatever, everything beforehand, maybe probably brings them down to the second round. But in terms of them going as far down as 5. That's purely down to the smear campaign. Like, to me, the smear campaign puts them at 5. The smear campaign made teams go, we can't deal with that ego. We can't deal with that family. We can't deal with, this and the other. Like, that made teams go, we need to overlook that.
I'm still looking at Mike Tomlin differently because I'm you don't have an option right now, quarterback. You're waiting to see if Aaron Rodgers comes to you. That's insane.
Yeah, insane.
That says how much they did want. I put it on his dad. I think they didn't want the circus. I put it on his dad.
You know what? Yeah,
I don't think I can do that still.
Yeah.
I want to relate this to Eubank and Benn. Yeah. Black Rob, you just said you put it on his dad. Yeah. How are the fathers different? Do you feel like any of the fathers help their sons? Because obviously all these fathers are legendary guys, isn't it? And obviously, like living up to their father's legacy and whatnot. would kind of need, well, not kind of, definitely need the assistance of the fathers, yeah? Do you feel like, obviously, it sounds like you guys are saying that Dion basically made it hard for him, right? Like, he didn't really lead him along the path he should have for him to actually get the success that he deserves, kind of. Do you feel like that's the same with Eubank and Benn?
I think it's a hard one because boxing's slightly different, isn't it? But I think Eubank, he's always helped to some, but then he's also made himself the front show, isn't it? He always put himself, like, he's got that type A personality where it's like, it's good for individual sports, it's good for leadership, it's good for executive board, but like, they don't play well with others. You know what I mean?
But did that somewhat take some of the pressure away from his son, or do you think that maybe compounded the pressure on his son?
Well, it goes one of two ways. You look like a genius when it works, but when it doesn't, it's like, it's all your fault, isn't it?
Yeah, but
So
I
it's
mean,
like
but looking at his career,
Isn't there slight different with the Eubanks though? Because I'm sure there was a clip that's going round. I sort of remember watching when they had the reality TV show, and he didn't want him to box. He was actually specifically saying to him, because of where you've come from, because you're quite comfortable, it's not what you should be doing, because I don't know if you'll have that hunger.
Yeah, he was right in that sense, but like, because it's true, most of the top boxers are all like, you see their backgrounds and they're all kind of like, 100%. That's why working class, got it from the mud. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But at the same time, was he fully right though? Because look what happened yesterday.
He was right in terms of like macro level, but he was wrong about his son. Because his son, or he's doing all right. But like, I understand his logic. See what I'm saying?
100%. So obviously it's early days for Shadeur and Connor, but based on what they've done so far, do you guys feel like they're going to at least live up to their family name? Not necessarily surpass their fathers, but live up to it. Do it justice. And if not, do you feel like one way for them to kind of live up to it would be for the fathers to step back?
Eubank's never going to step back. I think he loves it more than the son does. He loves the limelight more than the son does, so he's never going to step back. But I think there's always going to be... I think there'll be more contentious in their relationship if his son was better. If his son was good enough to nearly get to that level, then they would end up beefing at some point. And then I can see that arc where the son gets really good. He's like, I don't need your help no more. And I think they even had that little period where he was like, you're all up in my videos, all up in the Suge Knight, that whole thing about if you don't want your producer all up in the videos, all that, it's like kind of like that stuff. So it's like, I don't know if they got similar personalities, it wasn't gonna work. But like, yeah, those type of fathers. But the thing is, there's always something to that where have you watched the David Beckham documentary? You watch like the documentaries about Barry Sanders. Behind every like uber successful guy is like almost like a borderline abusive father sometimes. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's a good thing, but like you always see like a consistent theme where like David Beckham's dad basically just withheld any praise from him, and it made him like almost like, I think that's what developed his OCD, because he was like, whenever he did something well, his dad would be like, yeah, it's all right. And all he wanted was his praise. And you see that a consistent theme with a lot of uber successful like athletes or musicians and stuff like that.
Yeah, but do you feel like they're gonna live up to their father's name? No. Okay.
No.
Okay. And that's the same with Conor Benn as well, yeah?
No.
Chijuke and Ed, is that what you guys think as well?
No, I don't think that either that Benn or Sanders are good enough to get to their dad's levels. But you know, I do think they can do. I think they can do well, and I do think they can keep the family name respectable in terms of what they can achieve.
Yeah.
You know, but do I think they can peak the way that their fathers peaked? No, I don't think they're quite that level. There's some, it seems like a lot. I don't think there's a lot of, when you look in, especially in sports, there's not a lot of sons out there who really, when their dads are like top tier, like this is very difficult. Maybe because of what Eubank said about the hunger. You know what I mean? Like you ain't got that same hunger that they did to maybe make it to that top tier because you've never had you haven't
needed to.
Yeah, never needed to make it to do that. So I don't know if actually can get to that top team. Not impossible, but yeah, I don't think they can get to that top level. But they can bring respectability though. I think they'll definitely keep respectability in their name though, in terms of what they can do.
So going back to kind of what they said, is it if you were like a head coach or like a manager or something, and you got two comparable players in whatever sport, is it wrong for someone to think I'd rather go for the guy that needs it rather than the guy that wants it? If all other things are the same.
Yeah. It's not wrong. It's
I
just
hear what you're saying. Yeah, and I feel like but then again, I feel like that's us putting an assumption on this guy, which I don't know if we can. And when I'm talking specifically about Shador. Now, going back to Eman's original question, I don't think Eubank can reach his dad. I think it's kind of the dive's been set in terms of him trying to get to like a really elite level. I don't think he's ever gonna get to that point. He's 35 now. I think this is kind of it. It's a bit like where do you go from here? Because I don't think you're going back to be fighting Canelo. Come on now, it's just not that. But for Conor, I'm not sure. I feel like he's still got age on his side. I'm not saying he's ever going to reach his dad's level, but there's still time. And that's where I'm kind of banking on Shador. I don't think Shador's going to the Hall of Fame. I don't think we're going to say that anytime soon, or he's going to be looked at like his dad. But let's just see if he's able to push through this initial like snub, go through, do the training, just prove to people he's as good as he thinks he is, and we'll go from there.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for that. I'm gonna wrap up topic of the day, yeah. But stay here because obviously I want you guys to contribute to the reaction, yeah. But let's go into the reaction. One second, people. All right, people, welcome to the reaction. You know what? There's a lot of stuff that happened in it, but my bias will lead me to breeze through the football in it and get straight to the boxing. But we're going to give you the scores. On Saturday, Chelsea beat Everton 1-0. Brighton beat West Ham 3-2. Fulham beat Southampton 2-1. Newcastle beat Ipswich 3-0. And Wolves beat Leicester City 3-0. In the FA Cup, in the semis, Crystal Palace demolished Aston Villa 3-0. And yeah, man. Obviously, Ed and Black Rob super happy about that. Sunday, there were some games as well. Bournemouth drew at home with Man United. And Liverpool, wow, they destroyed Tottenham Hotspurs 5-1. And yeah, they lifted the thing, innit? On Sunday, innit? What a way to do it, man. 5-1. And also in the FA Cup as well, semi-finals, Man City beat Nottingham Forest 2-0. Yeah.
What did they lift on Sunday?
No, they didn't. No?
It's not over.
No. Sorry, they didn't lift it. But it was confirmed, didn't it?
Yeah, they did. Yeah. Huh? Any Liverpool fans want to come and tell us why it is that you're so happy?
It's only Bon and Fernando, they're not coming on.
The floor is here. It's a fantastic
opportunity
season.
How many Liverpool fans are here?
Huh?
How many Liverpool fans are in the TDA chat group?
Well, who knows?
I only know 2.
Most Liverpool fans, no disrespect, aren't they old, innit? No?
Yeah.
Most of them.
E-man, you said that, not me, but you're right.
You know what I'm saying? Because
I don't think I think it depends. I do have a theory on it. I think if you've got if you're 35 plus or have an older brother, that tends to be what happens.
That's true.
The club era has brought a lot of them out, bro. The club era has brought a lot of fans out. There was definitely a resurgence in their fandom. Like I see a lot of young kids in Liverpool shirts over the last 4 or 5 years. You know, they've felt like, you know, they've been sort of growing their fan base again with the younger gen.
Well, congratulations, Liverpool. Yeah. Nobody must come and take the stage to basically give them their flowers and whatnot. But I think it's a fantastic season.
They did well.
I think Slot coming in and doing the madness. Let's see what happens next year. But
you
Well done, man. Well done. Ed, you want to talk about Crystal Palace?
No, you want to talk about Palace? Oh yeah, I'm done. So I was just gonna bring up. I just saw him Klopp planning on going to the parade. You feel like he deserves any credit in building the team?
That's nasty work, by the way. It's nasty work.
Hey, like Emery should have come to the FA Cup parade, technically. You know what I mean?
Stop it.
No, but yeah, if we want to talk on Palace game, yeah, we can talk on that. Let's go.
All right, so you're through to the finals.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you know,
who you're playing? Man City.
Yeah, City.
What you saying? Who's
in terms of facing City, or just in terms of the game?
Both.
I'll start with the positive. In terms of the game, I think we dominated that even more than I thought we would. I thought we definitely have. I definitely thought we'd have a lot of the ball. But I didn't expect like Villa look very tired. You know what I mean? I think the European nights have got to them a bit. You know, I think they look very tired. That they're very sluggish with their passing, and we was able to really take advantage of that super easily. You know, midfield wise, Wharton and Kamada absolutely just dominated them. You know, they had no answers for Sarr when he was making runs in behind. Mateta was bullying the centre backs. They just had no answers in terms of defensively. You know, they get chances here and there to attack, but but in terms of their midfield and the defense, they just did not have the answer to stop us. And I think
Are you going to give praise to Eddie for the assist?
You need to shut up about Eddie. I don't need to talk about Eddie. He's just be thankful. He's one way or another. He's getting a medal. He should be thankful. He's just that he's going to get a medal at the end of May. But yeah, in terms of
the FA Cup winner, by the way, put some respect on his name.
Exactly, man. That experience is showing through for Palace right now.
Okay, I'm trying to be. I'm the positive spirits, guys. Don't try to bring me down. Don't do this. I'm in positive spirits. Let's be respectful. You know what I mean? He's a part of the team, so congratulations to him for getting into a final. That, what's it called? I was worried though when we missed the pen because we had. That's where I did worry that we'd use our heads. I was a bit worried we might, but we've shown a lot this season. To be fair, in the times that you think we might drop our heads, we've managed to stand on business and get the result in the end. So I'm thankful, that we did that and we got through. And yeah, like I said, it's a thankless task to obviously go and take on City. And I know obviously we got pumped by them a couple of weeks ago. But I do think we did suffer from not having Gay the other day. That did play a part. I do think what's it called? That
you got a chance, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say I do think we do have a good chance. I do think with Gay back and Mateta sort of 100%, I do feel like we've got a chance. I'm not saying we're definitely gonna win, but to be fair, I didn't think Man United would beat them last season. I thought United get pumped by them last season, so you never know.
We have to be more clinical though.
Yeah, we're just
did you see Sarr trip over his own leg when he tried to? I was like, what's going on? Can't be missing them shots.
Harry missing that ball bubbling into his missing the shot with his right and bubbling off his left. We need to definitely take our chances because we will get chances like we did against them at the end. Yeah, we will get chances against City, so we have to take those chances. That is the thing. We do have to definitely be more clinical. But in terms of, I definitely don't think we get pumped again. I definitely think with Gay back, I definitely think we'll be a lot more defensively assured, and I think they've probably hopefully learned from those mistakes. And yeah, we just knocking on wood, rabbit foot, 4-leaf clovers, all that, going to be, needed just to make sure we get to lift that trophy at the end.
No, Palace deserve it. I hope they win. I really do. I'm genuinely saying this. I hope they win.
Definitely. Oh, of course, yeah. I'm dreaming, but I don't want to get my hopes up just yet.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully, man. We wish you all the best, man. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, it happens and you guys can come on and sing Crystal Palace praises and whatnot. But obviously it's time, guys, to get into what happened on Saturday night with the boxing. Let's start from the undercard, yeah? So Vidal Riley, he defeats Chev Clark, unanimous decision. I predicted Vidal Riley was going to win, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not surprised. That's no disrespect to Clark. But Vidal Riley, I think he's a really good boxer, man. And I think sometimes we can get confused. When I say we, not me, but I think a lot of people see him and think, you know what, he's a YouTube guy as well. You know what I mean? He's got a big following on social media and whatnot. And he's involved in KSI, so he's not really about that boxing life, innit? But this guy is still undefeated. This guy's got the Lonsdale title now. This guy, basically, everyone who's stepped in the ring with him has lost. Everyone. And I think he's got a very good future ahead of him. And I think this was just him showing all of that. You know what I'm saying? The scorecards was like 117 to 111, 116 to 112, 115 to 113. A lot of people are saying it wasn't that. That 115 to 113 thing, it shouldn't have been the case. It's definitely wider than that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see that fight. So I basically saw the last two because obviously I had a busy weekend or whatnot. But yeah, I heard good things about that. CBS as well, he beat Brandon Glanton as well. I predicted that one as well. And yeah, unanimous decision. Every fight basically on Saturday was unanimous decision, by the way. Aaron McKenna as well. So this is the one I think I got wrong. I felt as though it depended on where Liam Smith was in his career. I'm not too sure what I actually predicted, actually. But a part of me was thinking Liam Smith hasn't got anything left anyway. The way he lost to Chris Eubank, I think Eubank put in a masterclass anyway and defeated Liam Smith in their last fight. But it was evident to me that Liam Smith was injured and he doesn't seem to be the same. Former world champion, he's done everything he can, man. You know what I'm saying? I think it's pretty much time to bow out. So I was pretty much thinking that this might be obviously an attempt for McKenna to really show what he's got and show the potential. And he did that, man. It was a complete shutout, man. The scorecards were crazy, wide. Like he literally won every round, people are saying. And he dropped him as well. 119 to 108. That's insane. 118 to 108. 117 to 109. Completely beat Liam Smith. And it's probably his time for Liam Smith to probably pack it in. I'm not too sure who he can fight at middleweight. That would be any sort of draw that people would want to see. You know what I mean? For a final payday. But to be fair, he probably got paid a lot for being on this Fatal Fury card. Now, you guys still there, yeah? Yep. Okay, cool. I want to get to this Anthony Yarde fight with Lyndon Arthur, yeah? Now, I said this last week. I predicted Anthony Yarde would win, but I said by stoppage. And I'll be honest with you, I was somewhat disappointed. It might be a thing.
No, I was very disappointed.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It might be a thing that Lyndon Arthur might just have his number. You know, he just might have that sort of style that Anthony Yarde kind of, I don't know, kind of struggles with, especially when you consider the first fight. But at the same time, I was just gonna say, but at the same time, the first fight, Anthony Yarde was going through a lot. You know what I'm saying? And to me, he redeemed himself and showed that he was going through a lot in the first fight by knocking him out in 4 rounds in the second fight.
That's
so,
what exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So to me, it's like there was no need for the third fight. I don't even know who the hell wanted to see this third fight in the first place. Anyway, but to make this a trilogy and then go in there and kind of, to me, Anthony Yarde, he didn't show his potential. And I think this kind of lowers his value.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'll let you guys talk. What do you think about it?
No, when I watched the fight, again, because I remember that he took him out quite early in the second fight. Mm-hmm. And I thought, okay, Anthony Yarde's now proved himself. Did he fight Berbatov after the Lyndon Arthur fight? Yeah. So he fought him again. No, so he fought. So I thought he moved up in level, but when he fought Lyndon Arthur, up to about the 8th or 9th round, I thought it was a close fight, man. To me, in the end, it was a close fight, but I thought it was like, wow, Lyndon Arthur might be winning this. Yeah. And I thought Anthony Yarde had gone past this. So I'm a bit surprised. But you know, like my friends who are really into boxing, they always talk about Anthony Yarde's coach, and loads of people talk about his coach. Like Anthony Yarde's got moved from, he's got moved on from the coach. What do you think? Is that you think he should? Or,
I understand why, and you know what the thing is, like you always hear Anthony Yarde talk about, you know, I'm loyal, yeah, and no one's saying you shouldn't be loyal, but you have to think about your career, innit? And I think everything that Anthony Yarde has got, we have to give praise to Tunde as well. We have to. Because remember, Anthony Yard had like 10 amateur fights. And we're not talking amateur fights at a top level, you know. We're not talking about 10 Olympic amateur fights, 10, you know what I'm saying, like big competitions. We're just talking about regular amateur fights and then went pro. Everything that he's gained, of course, he would have had God given talent as well. But Tunde assisted him. You know what I'm saying? This is Tunde's work, right? But at the same time, when you get to a certain level, to become elite, sometimes you might need assistance of another coach. You know what I'm saying? Maybe add to what you've got already, or maybe just replace. You know what I'm saying? And I think every boxer's pretty much done that. You know what I'm saying? So it might be one of those situations, but at the same time, you might go to another coach and realize, wait a minute, no, what I've got with Tunde is probably the best thing. He understands me. He took me from where I was so raw to where I competed and gave Kovalev a good run for his money. Where I gave Beterbiev a good run for his money. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, he got stopped by both of them. He got stopped by Kovalev, right? Was it round? Yeah, didn't it?
It was quite late, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was round 11 or something. And then obviously he got stopped, I think, round 7, Beterbiev. Was it round 7?
But he gave a good account.
Yeah, he did. You know what I'm saying? Like, we haven't really seen Beterbiev, like, shaken up to that degree. You know what I'm saying? Like, Anthony Yard has got the power. So, like, he's really done well. And let's be honest, he's done better than Boatsi in his career so far. He's done better than, you know what I'm saying? He just hasn't been a world champion. And, like, I don't know. It's one of those things where he's at a point in his career now, though, where he has to make, like, a big decision. Because anything after this is pretty much going to determine how he's remembered. You know what I'm saying? Yes, you fought these top guys. And yes, since we're living in the era right now, we can recognize your talent. But it may be easy for him to be forgotten about when you actually consider the different generations. You know what I'm saying? Because he's not become a world champion. And I think he had the potential to. Yeah.
So can I ask in his division, he's got Bivol and Berbatov in his division, right?
Mm-hmm.
So who are the other world champions, or do those two have all the world belts?
Yeah, they got the belts, man. They got the belts.
Okay, that's why it's hard, man.
They recently gave one to Benavidez, though. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think Yard can take him?
No.
Okay.
I like Anthony Yard, but
Can I just double check though? What's going on with him and Boatsi? Is that ever going to happen?
Who knows now, man? You know what I mean? Like, Boatsi was meant to beat Callum Smith, and everyone kind of anticipated Boatsi beating Callum Smith. He was kind of over the hill. Obviously, that turned out to be an amazing fight, but Callum Smith got the nod, innit? He was meant to, I think, beat Callum Smith and then potentially fight Yard next, after Yard beats Lyndon Arthur. You know what I'm saying? I think that was meant to be the route, so we can have like one of those amazing domestic fights. But yeah, I'm not too sure if it's going to happen. But at the same time, I don't see why it shouldn't, because Boatsi's stock should still be high, because even though he lost, it was an amazing fight, arguably the best fight of the night, or at least second, right? So
but
hopefully
I think people
that happens
can be
next.
quite fickle after a lot. So.
That is true. But at the same time, Yard's lost too. Do you know what I'm saying? And even though he lost to Callum Smith was a former world champion. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things. I think that fight can definitely still happen, though. Definitely. It should happen. There's no reason why it shouldn't, to be fair. There's no reason why it shouldn't. But yeah, I don't know. To me, Lyndon Arthur he's a good boxer. And when he gets into his rhythm and he utilizes his jab, which is obviously his best skill, best part of his game, it's going to be hard, isn't it? And I think Anthony Yard just couldn't get away from the from that jab for so much of the fight. I think he won. Right? I don't think there's really any need to dispute the decision, but he didn't impress. You know what I'm saying? He didn't really impress, and I think that's part of the issue. But again, it might just be that Lyndon Arthur has his number, man. But that weight division that weight class is very tough, though, man. Again, Bivol and Beterbiev, the best. These are future Hall of Famers. These are legendary boxers. They've got their trilogy. But Benavidez is a serious guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, Benavidez, I don't see anyone beating Benavidez. I'll be honest with you. I think, in fact, obviously he beat Morel last time out, which is a tough fight as well. But Benavidez, obviously Bivol and Beterbiev are the only guys that can beat him, I think. But at the same time, Benavidez is younger and hungrier. The fight I would want to see is Benavidez and Beterbiev. I think that would be like a bloodbath. That would be insane. None of these guys know how to back down. That would be insane.
Is-
And I think it's the perfect time to catch Beterbiev. Not because he's over the hill, but because he's 40. He's going to be 41. You know what I'm saying? So...
But shouldn't he just retire after this, though?
Yeah, he probably should.
I don't
He
know
probably
what
should.
else he needs to prove.
Yeah, nothing at all. 100%. Unless obviously he gets all the belts, and then I don't know. You might want to defend it, but yeah, 100%. He doesn't need to prove anything. He's beat everybody. Everyone they put in front of him, he's beat everyone by a knockout as well. You know what I'm saying? Except Bivol, in the first one. So yeah, he definitely doesn't need to prove anything. But yes, it's a tough weight class, man. And yes, it's going to be interesting to see what Yard does. It's going to be interesting to see what Boazzi does. But what Boazzi needs to fight for a world title. He needs to. Obviously, he would have had the opportunity if he beat Callum Smith. Yeah, 100%. But I don't know. I just want to see him fight. Yeah, somebody's got a belt, man. It's too long. What are we doing? You know what I'm saying? Fight Yard. Next, that makes sense. And then go and fight for a title, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what you do. Let's see what you do. And obviously, the fight of the night, man. Sorry, go on.
No, I was just going to say, do you think what they might be trying to do is that they want him to maybe fight, see if he can nick a belt, and then do that fight for the title?
Say that again?
As in, they're going to see if Boazzi can get a title challenge, because I don't know any of the belts. I don't know if that's already happened. Sorry.
Your thingy cut out. I couldn't hear you properly, Chizuka.
All right, sorry, I was going through a dead spot. I don't know.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Say it again.
Can you hear me? You know?
Yeah, relatively. Yeah.
Okay, no, I was saying I don't know if they're still thinking of.
Damn, can't hear you, man. Can't hear you. It keeps cutting out. Yes. Well, when you come back, obviously, just ask that question again, yeah. But yeah, the main event, Chris Eubank and Conor Benn. What? You know what? You guys obviously watched the fight live, yeah? I'm assuming. Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right. What was your thoughts, man?
So let's start from the beginning.
Yeah.
When I saw Eubank come in there, Eubank Senior come in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got gassed, but it was good that he reunited with his son. And I know some people were saying, this was just all the plan all along, but I'm not sure, because what's his name? Travis. He's come on this show a couple of times. Travis J. He made a great point about when Eubank Jr. made that speech about that his his brother's passed away.
Yeah,
he lives with pain that his fathers don't speak to him. I said, Dad, that would have touched you. So maybe his father said, you know what, I don't agree with the fight, but let me come and support my son. So it could be just that, like on the day, he thought, let me come and support my son. So that's good. Eubank Senior's coat was wavy, and so yeah, obviously they prepare for fight. Then Billy Joe Saunders, this waste man, tries to come in, check the gloves. I'm like, this guy. You've embarrassed yourself enough when you started crying when you got touched by Canelo. Yeah, this fool. So he tried to get involved. I'm sure he'll set by Eddie Hearn to try and check the gloves. But yeah, obviously they come in. Conor Benn's entrance is cool. And you know what? Actually, I got a lot of respect for Conor Benn in the fight. I still think he's a bit he chats too much, and the drugs test thing was a bit silly. But in the fight, man, he's got a good chin, man. I'll give him that, man.
Yeah.
His chin is good. But his entrance was wavy, and then Eubank's entrance when they hit simply the best, brother,
legendary.
Got a little bit emotional, man.
Legendary,
but legendary moment, and yeah. The fight itself, Eubank was fantastic.
Yeah.
From the fourth round onwards, I thought he came out quite slow. I think he was trying to, figure out, his weight and everything, and Conor Benn looked quicker. But then I think Eubank, I don't know if he threw the tactics out of the bag and just said, "Look, I'm going to scrap with this guy." And yeah, it was fantastic. When you're watching a boxing match, you start standing up doing shadow boxing. Bro, that's what I started doing, man. It was just fantastic.
You know what?
Wonderful fight.
Like you rightly said, you know what the thing is, yeah? I give credit to both of these fighters.
Yeah, same.
And maybe it's because, I said this on the show many times before, I'm Team Eubank, innit? I love his dad, yeah? And I might seem a bit biased, but I'm not going to lie to you, yeah? I give a bit more credit to Chris Eubank. I feel as though everything from start to finish was part of his elaborate plan. When it comes to promoting that fight, he was legendary. He was legendary. He was Floyd Mayweather and McGregor in one person, though. In one person. Because look at the time that he went in on all the promoters. Look at the egg slap. Look at how he silenced, what's his name? Eddie Hearn and the other guy in the last press conference. Look at every single thing he's done for the last 3 years pertaining to this fight. He has calculated everything perfect. I'm not saying that he knew everything that was going to come in the future 3 years ago. What I'm saying is he moved his pieces on the chessboard immaculately. And him winning it as well just made me think, you know what? If somebody has lived up to their father, it's you. When it comes to skill level, we know none of these two guys are on the level of their fathers. We know that. We know this. Eubank was a world champion. Nigel Benn was a world champion. They beat everyone around. Yes, they didn't fight Roy Jones. Okay, fine. But, right? And when they got beat, when Eubank lost to Calzaghe, Eubank wasn't the same Eubank, right? Put that Calzaghe in with Eubank when Eubank was fighting Benn in the early 90s. It's a, you know what I'm saying? Put that same Calzaghe against the real Roy Jones, the real Bernard Hopkins. I'm not trying to take anything away from Calzaghe, but he's not going to leave the game with an O.
Take it away from Calzaghe, man. This guy, man, he gets so afraid that he fought all these guys later on, man. He's powder punches.
You know what I'm saying? But at the same, but what I'm saying is, let's give him some respect because obviously he was world champion, undefeated. You know what I'm saying? But of course, he didn't fight these elite guys in their primes, innit?
Yeah, exactly.
But Chris Eubank Jr., again, for somebody that people kind of always compared him to his father, and yes, he kind of was in his father's shadow. Yes, he kind of copied everything his father did. But I think for the first time, my respect that went to him because of his father goes to him because of him.
Yeah.
Just because of him. He stepped out from his father's shadow to me. And he became his own man. Obviously, I don't mean it in a disrespectful way. He's 35. He's been a man for years now, innit? But I mean, just in the sense of him being his own entity and him really making certain moves by himself. And what's beautiful about it is the fact that Chris Eubank Sr., as you guys know, he wasn't in his corner or back in his career for a number of years now. Right? So we know all of these moves, the fight against Liam Smith, the 2 fights against Liam Smith, certain things have been Eubank Jr. by himself. So the credit is definitely due. But when it came to building up this particular fight and really adding to the rivalry, oh my goodness. He just knew how to really poke Conor Benn in the same way his dad knew how to poke Nigel Benn. In the same way. Like, this is what made it so amazing. I thought it was kind of disrespectful to some degree for people to say, oh, this is Eubank Benn 3. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be, you know what I mean, sensible here. But honestly, after that fight, I think it pretty much was. That's one of the best fights I've ever seen live.
Yeah, same.
Easily.
Both of them all, man.
Oh my goodness. Oh my god. Both of them were prepared. Guys. Yeah, both of them were prepared to die in that ring.
Exactly.
Both of them. And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
no, what are you going to say?
Yeah, so I remember back in the day when Eubank fought, was it George Groves? It was Eubank Jr. And he seemed like he was in his shell and he didn't really scrap. From what I remember, I might be wrong, but from what I remember, he didn't like... He kind of just seemed a bit in his shell and didn't really go for it against George Groves, I believe. Like, it was either him or Liam Smith. I think it was George Groves. Okay. But the way he fought today, on Saturday, just, not being on the back foot, being the aggressor, when he took Benn to the ropes and he was trying to knock him out, I thought, this is what I like. And then Benn, fair to him, he stayed strong, took a few good punches and fought back. And this is what I like to see. And I just thought it was a fantastic fight. What do you think of the commentators, though? So on the Zen, they were acting like Benn was ahead in a couple rounds, especially Barry McGuinn. And apparently on Sky, not acting like and Benn was winning as well. So I don't know what the commentators were all about. Are they all in Eddie Hearn's pocket or something?
I was watching it via the Zone.
Yeah.
I mean, they were saying there was a lot of close rounds. And I think they were right. But you know what the thing is, yeah? When we heard unanimous decision, I think everyone knew Chris.
Yeah.
Everyone knew. Because when it came to the skill level, it showed that Chris was a level above Conor Benn. But I think the type of fight it was, a lot of the skill went out of the window, right? And it became a fight of just will and desire, and who was really going to live up to their fathers and really do the family name proud. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got Conor Benn knowing that out of the 2 fights, the Benns haven't won any.
Yeah.
And he's thinking, I need to get this win. I need to. You got Eubank with the pressure of knowing out of the 2 fights, we've not lost. Right? I can't lose. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, everything was on the line. Everything. And I'll be honest with you, I don't want to see the fight again.
No,
I don't want to see that fight again.
That's one and done.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And it might be because, you know, seldom do we get fights that live up to the first fight, right?
Yeah.
Or occasions, right? It happens. Bivol Bertobiev. In films, Godfather 2, right? It can happen. But I'll be honest with you, one of my main concerns is the health of the fighters.
Yeah, same.
He
had to go to the hospital, didn't he?
Yeah, straight after. Them type of fights, it's like fighting 5 fights. Do you know what I'm saying? And what both of them had to do things that they wouldn't ordinarily have to do. But what happened to Eubank though, to me it's crazy. Remember, we have to really thank God here that this didn't happen 3 years ago. Because remember, Eubank had to come down to 157. 157, you know? So 160, to me personally, I think everyone was against him. Yes, he missed weight by 0.05 pounds. You know, 0.05 pounds. That's ridiculous. 0.05, you know? Huh?
He got a big charge as well.
Yeah, $500,000. That's ridiculous. Let him go to the toilet, pee, and he'll come back, and he would have been bloody on thingy. He would have been. Yes, he should have come there on time, right? So then they would have given him some time, I guess.
If you can come late, you would have cut that weight. We would have time to cut that weight. You're going to come late.
100%. But again, guys, come on, man. 0.05. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? And to me, it just seemed like a bit of, I don't know, bad sportsmanship. Just let him go to the toilet, come back. 5 more minutes. You know what I'm saying? He'll be fine. But, okay, fine. That happened. But he then now can only rehydrate 10 pounds. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I think it was 24 hours before the actual fight, right? All of this stuff is having an impact on his body. And I think we saw that in the fight. Granted, Conor Benn took him to a place he's never been before. But I think a big part of that also was the fact that he wasn't himself. Do you get what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, he was drained. Yeah, 100%. You have to.
I have to give props. I have to give props to both fighters. I expected Ben to start like as aggressively as he did and use like his speed and use his power on Eubank very early. But then I give credit to Eubank because he adapted midway through. Yeah, and was just like, oh, it's time to do counter punching. Yeah, time to control the fight. Yep. And just that those middle rounds he just took control. 100%. And then that's obviously connected with some a lot of his punches connected. Yeah. He did his thing. I know Ben had him looking a little shaky in the 8th. But he's sort of resilient, determined, just kept going. And I was like, I have to give him a lot of credit for that. Yeah, Eubank definitely his experience. Yeah, his experience played through there. 100%. And that was important. That was the thing that to me that's what won him the fight. His experience won him the fight. I think 100%. I think a younger Eubank would have probably got that. Ben could have probably got him out of there. But in terms of this Eubank, this is the right time for him to take on Ben. I think he's learned a lot from how he's fought. I think I'm not going as far as saying that it's the best fight I've seen. Probably, there goes one of the top 3 probably British fights I've seen. Like, I'll definitely say that. I've said it's definitely up there with like Froch and Groves. Yeah.
I think this is better. I think this is better.
You think it's better than the first Froch and Groves?
No, I don't think it's better than first Froch and Groves. No,
I don't know, man. Nah,
no,
that one was well level, man.
Yeah,
And
even
the shock
I think,
when
I
Groves
think it's
knocked
more
out.
on par with like to me it's more on par with like Chisora White. Like I put that more on par with
No. No disrespect to Chisora. Again, sick fight. But nah, I'll tell you why. Because I think we have to consider the build up. I think we have to consider what they did in that ring. Again, I definitely hear you with the Fudge and Groves. That first round drop in.
Brother,
Oh my
the
days.
shock.
That was insane.
That was
I
insane.
couldn't believe it, man.
That was insane. I thought the fight's done. Fudge knocked down.
Same.
This is Carl Fudge, you know.
never
He
experienced
proper
it.
got knocked down. I don't know how Fudge come through
I'm
that,
telling
man.
you.
Because
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
and oh boy, and that's why although I liked this fight on Saturday, just that fight. I remember the Fudge Groves fight when he knocked him down, and I honestly thought Groves was going to get out in like sixth round.
Yeah.
And then when Fudge managed to put it through, I thought he got a bit lucky with the refs. I thought they stopped the fight too early.
100%.
But still, that fight was fantastic.
Yeah.
You know how Howard Foster does that a lot.
Yeah, was it Howard Foster?
Yeah.
Again, I still get angry about that fight.
Yeah,
I still think
should
they should have let it go to 12 rounds, man.
Yeah,
they just stopped it too early.
Yeah, that definitely started too early. 100% too early.
Yeah.
That definitely we could have gone the distance with that. I know it's one of those, like you said, man, where it's like if they had gone the 12 rounds, that's like fighting 5 fights. 100%. They probably fought about 3 into that. You know what I mean? Whereas definitely one of those, like, it would have been 5 fights if they had gone to all the way. That's definitely, that to me is the best I've seen, hands down. But I still put it in the conversation. Like I said, I still put it in the conversation with like White and Chisora, you know, and then obviously and then I think those 3 probably the 3 best British fights I've seen, right, in my own eyes firsthand.
You know what the thing is? So, yeah. Also, sorry to cut you. The thing is, with Fudge and Groves, I liked Fudge in it, but I've always liked Groves because to me, he's always been the underdog. People haven't given him the respect that he deserved, and I became a big fan of his when he beat the Girl. Yeah, you remember how the Girl,
that's me as well.
You know what I'm saying? Like the Girl pretty much was trying to bully him. Like I'm saying before the fight, calling him ugly, calling him like everything under the sun. You know what I'm saying? And I thought, nah, come on, man. I hear what you're saying in terms of trying to promote the fight, but you're going too far. I kind of felt for Groves. Then when he got in the ring and he beat the Girl, I was like, okay, I like this guy.
Yeah.
So going into
the Girl's spirit, man.
I'm telling you,
the Girl was never the same after that.
I'm telling you. You know what I'm saying? And like for him to then fight Carl Fudge, and then to me, and I think you guys would agree as well, he was robbed. He was robbed in that first fight, man. He was robbed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And but I don't know, like this Eubank Benn fight though. I think
in terms of you add the extra stuff, I do hear what you're saying. In terms of you add the sort of extra stuff outside of just the fight itself, I can hear what you're saying. Yeah, I do hear you now.
Because live,
I'm talking about just purely the fight is what I'm saying.
I hear what you're saying, but you know what? Especially because those guys were world class. Fudge and Groves are world class fighters. You know what I'm saying? Like Eubank and Conor Benn aren't elite like that. You know what I'm saying? But in terms of what they did, these guys were really ready to die. Fudge was ready to die though. Fudge was ready to die. Fudge was ready to die.
Fudge should have called it quits. Says, no, let me get him next time. Because that second round, was it first round knockout? That was too clean. But yeah.
After the Kessler fight, I knew Fudge was willing to die.
Yes. You know what I mean? But I don't know, but like honestly, I'm so proud of Eubank and Benn. The thing is, obviously the Benn family, kudos to them, but they were talking a lot.
Was Nigel talking a lot?
He was talking a lot.
Was he?
Not as much as Conor, but he was definitely talking a lot.
Yeah. He was like, of course, not as much as Conor, but he was saying it's not going past 4 rounds. It's not going past. He was saying he exposed sparring business as well. He said, Conor Benn was fighting against William Skull. You know, William Skull's going to be fighting next week against Canelo. Yeah. He's got a belt. He's a world champion. Cuban, I believe, right? So, you know, William Skull's of a certain level. He was saying, listen, in that fight, Conor Benn pretty much had him up. William Skull, he pretty much intimated William Skull quit, right, in their sparring. He said he fought Saras, you know, Bruno Saras, who beat, what's the brother's name? The Mexican. that lost to Canelo. Oh man, I forget his name now. He's a big 168. He used to be at 160. Oh man, he got knocked out by Bruno Suarez in, when was this? Sometime last year. I can't remember. Somebody in the chat will say it. Yeah, he was saying all of these things, man. You know what I'm saying? He was saying he's fighting big guys, big light heavies. You know what I'm saying? Preparing for Eubank. And so he's like, no, it's not going past round 4. And we
Nigel
all,
should know
we all
better,
knew.
man. Nigel should know better to do this, man. I can understand Conor talking like this, but Nigel, seeing that you got knocked out by his father, why are you talking like this, man?
Yeah, but he believes. You know what the thing is, over the years, whenever I've seen Conor Benn and Nigel together, and Nigel's talking about his son, remember he's always said, Conor's better than me. He's better than me. Right?
He's lying to his son, man. He's lying to his son. He's not better than him.
But you know, sometimes you can see the flaws in yourself, innit? But in your own child, you might think, oh, no, this guy's more refined than me, or whatever it may be, innit? So he's been saying this, right? And obviously, when you're now seeing your son, who's a one, you know what the thing is, I don't see Conor Benn as a 147 fighter, I'll be honest with you. To me, he ain't fought at 147 for the last 3 years. His last 2 fights were at 154. That's a 154 fighter. Granted, he should go down to 147, or at least he can make 147, right? And that's probably the best chance he has of picking up a title, because he ain't beating nobody at 154. He ain't beating Fondora. He ain't beating Crawford. He's not beating none of them guys. He ain't beating bloody Ortiz, right? 147, Boots will just tear him apart. Boots will stop Conor Benn. Easy. But he has a chance against Barrios. But I think people are overlooking Barrios, because Barrios, again, world champion. Yes, he lost to Tank. You remember he got knocked out by Tank. He had a tough fight the other day. I can't remember who against. Was it earlier this year or last year? But Barrios is a serious guy. He's got the fundamentals. Conor lacks the fundamentals. You know what I'm saying? Conor has got like raw aggression. And I think this is what I was saying on the show last week. I think that raw aggression will come into play against Eubank, where in the first 4 rounds, it's going to be tough for Eubank. And I think it kind of showed, you know what I'm saying? But Eubank, again, his grit, his determination, his experience. I was so happy for him. Again, I think this is the reason why I kind of rank it as one of the best, if not the best, I've seen live. Me watching TV, watching it live, because my heart was beating. And I think because I'm somewhat invested in Eubank, innit? Like,
same.
I'm Team Eubank to the core. And so, like, seeing how he almost got dropped in round 2 or round 3, innit?
Yes.
Oh,
I remember now.
goodness.
Yeah.
I was like, no.
Yeah.
Chris, please.
His legs wobbled proper.
Yeah. Exactly. I was like, please, Chris, please, man, don't do this, right?
And
but
no,
to
I
come
got
back,
worried when his eye got cut as well.
Yes, with the clash of heads.
Yeah, I got worried. I thought,
yeah.
Because after when the eye got cut, it felt like Ben was connecting more of his punches, and Eubank was being a little bit hesitant. And then they what round was it? Was it that 6th round? I can't remember.
What when the heads?
Yeah,
I think it was like round 9.
Round 9, yeah. But after they sorted that out, he came back strong 10th.
Yeah, 100%.
And then 10th.
100%. That fight was crazy. I've seen the fight twice. I'll be real. Yeah? I'll be real. Second time watching it, it's not the same. It's not the same. But
when you're watching it there and then,
oh man,
I was team Eubank, and I was really worried.
I'm telling you.
I called on Friday. I said, I'm worried about this fight. Yeah. And then I saw the clips of the rehydration. I was like, he don't look well, man.
This what I'm saying. And this is why his dad was... Listen, when his dad said, they're trying to murder my son, he had a point. 157. Yeah, imagine they fought like this, but Eubank was at 157. Come on now.
Yes,
come on now.
100%.
Brutal, man.
I'm telling you.
Even when Eubank walked into the ring, obviously he had a bit of bravado. I'm talking about you, Junior here.
Yeah.
But he still looked a bit like his eyes were a bit dazy.
Yeah.
And I just thought, okay. I thought, is he going to do the flip into the ring? No, he just did a normal jump in. And I just thought, okay, he's got to survive these first 2 rounds. Because when Ben started, I just thought, jeez, man, Ben looks so much quicker than him.
Yeah, aggression.
The aggression was strong.
Energy. Yeah, 100%.
I had my friends were saying, nah, he's got to be drug tested again because the energy that he come with, was crazy, man.
Hey, his tenacity is unmatched. I can't lie. Like,
Yeah, it's crazy.
And you got to rate him. He did move up 2 weight classes, so you even have to still rate that for keeping that level as well.
Yeah,
in terms of that level of aggression after jumping up 2 weight classes.
Yeah,
you know, and that intensity. Like, I have to give him credit for that. Like,
yeah, 100%.
And definitely their styles is when you talk about styles making fights, the way their styles contrast, it definitely
100%.
like it's perfect. They were perfect.
By the way, though, just reminding me, I believe Ring Magazine posted, I've not checked, but I think Ring Magazine posted on Instagram or somewhere that the rematch, Turkey Al-Sheikh wants the rematch for September already.
Yeah, I read that.
I don't want that, man. I don't want that.
Yeah, but he's seen the money in it.
Yeah, 100%. But again, Turkey loves the biggest fights, yeah. And that's a beautiful thing. But and this was one of my biggest criticisms about the whole collaboration with Dana White. I don't think fighters' careers will last as long because they will always be in tough fights. And I'm not saying they should get easy fights like all the time, but it does extend their career. You can't be fighting fights like this regularly. You can't. Yeah. You can't, man.
Not after 6 months, man.
Not even,
no
so
way.
Not after 6 months. 6 months is crazy. At least like bare minimum, like a year, 18 months maybe.
You know what I'm saying?
Man. It's crazy to get the 6 months.
It's too much.
There's no way there should be. No, and also, did I want it at the same weight as well?
Exactly, that's the other thing.
Exactly, thank you for mentioning.
You do the same weight? Nah,
no
can't
chance.
be doing that same weight.
Exactly. If it happens again, what do you say?
So he was going on like, people talk about, it's dangerous for Chris. No, but it's actually dangerous for Conor for going up 2 weights because it's. I'm like, brother, shut up, man. You saw what happened to Chris Eubank and the rehydration.
Yeah.
There's no way he should fight in this fight again at this weight. There's no way.
No way.
Yeah. Benn took up. What weight was this at? 157? No, 160.
It's at 160. Yeah.
But what's the next weight up? What? Not 163?
168.
Yeah.
Benn's got to go up to 168. If you can't make it, then the fight can't happen.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
The fight can't happen.
Exactly. And like we were saying, realistically, yeah, the guy's not been at 147 for 3 years. So you're 154 to me, right? All you're doing is going up 1 weight class. We saw that with Sugar Ray Leonard versus Hagler. We saw that with Duran even went up multiple weight classes to fight Hagler. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've seen these things before. These bigger guys weren't fully asked to come all the way down, crazy rehydration clauses. And remember, what's his name? Eddie Hearn, to add to your point here, kept saying, oh yeah, Eubank's a 165. Yes, he is, because he's been fighting 160 most of his career. He has fought at 168 as well, but 160 most of his career. But he's never been asked to have a rehydration clause. Never. This is the first time. Do you get what I'm saying? So he's had to resort to saunas and all sorts to get down to that level. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's dangerous. It's dangerous. If it does happen, it has to happen at 160, no rehydration clause. Chris needs to be how he is normally. He has to be. Yeah. That's not fair. It's not fair. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? When bloody Kell Brook went up to fight Triple G, what happened? You know what I'm saying? Like, no one asked Triple G to come down. Kell Brook said, no, I want to dare to be great. I'm going to go up. You know what I'm saying?
Stupid of him.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. 100%. Because Golovkin's a killer.
Triple G has the right. Triple G has the right to demand that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But to be fair, obviously, Triple G was a killer, even to people in his own weight class. Like, so to do that to somebody who's naturally 147, Kell Brook didn't stand a chance, unfortunately. Yeah. And obviously, Khan, same thing when he went to Canelo. Crawford's doing the same thing going up to Canelo. Like, no one's asking these guys to put in rehydration clauses. We have to stop that, man. It's dangerous. It's dangerous, man. And again, another thing about Chris Eubank Jr., he's so aware. He's so aware of everything. He, like, it really just, like, how cerebral he is, you have to give him credit. The fact that he was like, listen, I need to go to hospital. Just that little decision to be like, no, let's go. I need to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's aware of what can happen to his body. You know what I'm saying? But still put himself through it to give us entertainment, to still dare to be great, and to give us one of the best nights of British boxing ever. Again, these are guys that most people said would never be like their fathers. And yes, in terms of elite level stuff, Chris Eubank is not as skilled as his father. Chris Eubank has never won a world championship. Yes, 100%. But on Saturday, to me, he went down as a legend because he gave us one of the best fights ever seen in British boxing history. 100%. And also, as much as, yes, I have criticized Conor Benn, I remember there's a clip out there. I said something crazy like Conor Benn went from PEDs to crack, right? Because obviously, to me, he was making up stupid excuses for them eggs, right? For the thingy, chloroform in his system. 100% to me, I believe personally, there was something untoward that happened, right? But again, to give credit where credit is due, will and determination made him fight the way he fought. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
And he was crying, he felt it. But honestly, that young man needs to be proud of himself, man. Because honestly, he goes down as somebody that will not be forgotten as well. Because, come on, man, these guys didn't grow up rough like their fathers, but they fought like it. They fought
well.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, I have to give them credit, man.
So what's next for them? Like, can Chris go for a world title?
I believe he should. I believe he should. Fight Canelo.
So I think Chris may got one more shot at a world title. That's
Yeah.
Fight Canelo.
Yeah. I'm saying fight Canelo.
Yeah, just go for that. Try to get that one last big payday title fight.
Do you think he can beat Canelo?
Huh?
Do you think he can beat Canelo?
No, not at all.
No
but but if he does stand a chance, it will be now because this Canelo doesn't move as much. This Canelo's not as elusive as he once was, right? This Canelo is still a killer though at 168, and Chris will have to go up to 168. And at 168, he lost to George Groves. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't his. He wasn't going to shine as much at 168, but still, get your payday. Get your payday against a fighter where you don't have to kill yourself before you step in the ring.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Don't focus on Benn. Don't focus on Billy Joe.
No,
don't focus on Billy Joe. Focus on trying to get that Canelo fight. 100%.
Billy Joe is done, man. Billy Joe needs to stop talking. Respectfully, he needs to stop talking. Yes, you beat Eubank, but Eubank gave you them first 6 rounds. That fight frustrated the hell out of me. Like
that's the fight I was thinking of, Billy Joe.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
the fight.
Frustrated the hell out of me. He didn't do nothing for 6 rounds.
Yeah,
exactly.
For no reason. Then you want to come back when it's too late. You could have beaten Billy Joe. You could have beaten Billy Joe. Yes, Billy Joe was a great boxer, 100%. Remember what he did to, what's his name? Lemieux. Totally dominated Lemieux. But again, Canelo showed him levels. Canelo made him quit. Remember, Billy Joe was criticizing Dubois. Remember?
Dubois, I'll never forget this.
You know what I'm saying?
He criticized Dubois for quitting the fight after he hurt his eye.
Yeah,
and the exact same thing happened to him. Mm-hmm. He walked out of the ring crying.
Exactly. And we ain't seen him since.
But
we ain't seen him since. You know what I'm saying?
When he's threatening his missus and nonsense like that. But no, he's always. Do you see what he was trying to do to the security guard on Saturday?
Yeah, I've seen the clip.
Yeah, he was trying to get into thingy. Yeah. You're talking about for the raps, innit?
Yeah,
because they were talking about that. I think at a press conference that I think Conor Benn elected him to go and do that. Again, it's just part of the plan.
Playing mind games,
mind games and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? But come on, man. Eubank are supreme, man. The Eubanks are supreme, man. Big up the Eubanks every goddamn time. Again, I don't think I really spoke about Senior. He's my guy, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and what he did, the timing. I don't think he what do you call it? Chris knew, but a part of me thinks at a particular time they definitely knew and thought we have to add this to the show. We need to incorporate this into the overall show.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%. They definitely did that perfect. Once they knew it was going to happen, they definitely were like, we need to figure out the way to make this as memorable as possible.
And they did just that. Legendary. Like Kofi said, simply the best coming out. Then doing the whole Still Dre as well. Oh, come on, man. Crazy, man. You have to give Chris Eubanks Jr. his credit, man. You know what I'm saying? You have to.
It's fantastic.
He really did live up to his father, I think, personally.
100%. Yeah. Eubanks in my top 5 all-time British fighters.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah. Like, Eubank, come on, man. Like, again, the son really just, he studied his father. Obviously, he knows his father, innit? But he studied him too. The phrases, the little nuances, everything he did his entire career was to emulate his father. You could tell he looks up to his father so much, right? But then he just gave it to us again. Like the nostalgia, everything was there. The whole parliamentary procedure, everything was there.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Everything. He's a genius. He's a genius. Like, you know the thing is, Kanye West obviously he's messed up his name now, innit? But let's just say the clean Kanye West, that's Eubank Jr.
Yeah,
that's Eubank Jr. You know what I'm saying?
I hear it.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to give him his props, man. But anyway, guys, appreciate you guys calling out, man.
I'm sorry, really quickly.
Yeah.
So Dubois is going to take in Usyk.
Yeah. Dates confirmed.
Is it what in September?
I think I spoke about it last week. I think it's in June. You know, I think it's 19th of
June.
They made it summer. Yeah, they put in the summer. So July 19th. I think.
Yeah, July 19th. Then July.
Right. Do you think Dubois can? Because it was close to last time.
He definitely has the best chance he's got. This is like in form, super confident Dubois. Yeah. But Usyk is still Usyk though. You know what I'm saying? Like Usyk still is the guy. Usyk is like, in fact, let me not blaspheme. He's not Mayweather, innit? But he's Mayweather and Crawford in the sense that they are able to adapt in the ring. They study the opponent, they adapt in the ring, and they do what's necessary to win. And it's a proven formula. They've never lost. Do you know what I'm saying? Usyk ain't lost since the amateurs. You know what I'm saying? Like, same with Crawford, same with Andre Ward, same with Floyd Mayweather. Like, these guys that know how to win. You know what I mean? Like, it's like knowing how to answer questions in an exam. They just know what to do. And I think Usyk, as long as doesn't get himself knocked out, he wins that fight.
Yeah.
But what was the point that the Dubois camp was saying? I'm just saying, playing devil's advocate, what they say. Oh, in the last fight, was it he hit? They said that he hit.
Usyk low.
Below.
Yeah.
But they're trying to say it wasn't below. What was your thoughts on that?
To me, I'll be honest with you. I think that's a legal shot, man. I think it's a legal shot.
It's a legal shot.
I thought it was.
I think it's a legal shot. And the reason why I say that is because we've seen so many shots like that. Come on now.
Yeah.
So many.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I'm saying? And no referees stopped it and gave bloody 5 minutes for. No, come on now, man. Come on now.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I think Usyk used that time smartly. He used that time to figure it out.
Yes, exactly.
Figure out what he needed to do to adapt.
Yep.
And then took. And then from that point onwards, the fight was his.
It was done. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. But in terms of before that moment, 100%. The bar was deservedly in charge of that fight, and that shouldn't have been counted as a low. But by the same time, I look at it now, I go, the bar then, I feel like was in a lesser position than he is now. Like, I feel like the bar now, I trust more in that fight today. Like, if this the bar for that Usyk, I'd have more confidence in the bar winning that fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
At the same time, I don't think he would have won though, because again, Usyk that Usyk hadn't fought Tyson Fury yet, right?
Yeah, that's the Usyk.
No, you're right. Yeah.
That Usyk hadn't even fought AJ yet. You know what I'm saying?
Has he not fought AJ before that?
No, I don't think so. Or am I wrong?
Am I wrong? Usyk. No, the bar was after Usyk. The bar was after AJ. Joshua.
Okay.
Yeah, the bar was after.
Okay. Yeah. And Usyk puts on a masterclass, man. The only person people thought could beat Usyk was Fury, and look what he did to him. Look what he did to him.
Yeah, true.
Great fight, but look what he did to him. There was only one winner. You don't beat Tyson Fury twice, AJ twice. Come on, man. Come on, man.
No, it's true.
You know what I'm saying?
You're not wrong.
Nothing to prove. And I think it's going to be a tough fight because this is an older Usyk, but it's going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough.
No, yeah.
And also, remember, in that last fight, after the low blow, allegedly, Usyk, like you said, Ed, he picked him apart. And like the mental resilience just went out the window for Dubois. I don't think that would happen with this Dubois. He's stronger mentally now. You know what I'm saying? He's much
the
stronger.
confidence from the AJ fight, man.
Yeah.
Did he get AJ out there in what, in 4 or 5 rounds?
5 rounds.
Yeah. Exactly. After that, man, he must feel like I can take on anyone. Because he'll say, obviously, Fury's never fought AJ, but Usyk never took out AJ in 5 rounds.
Yeah, nobody has.
Nobody's taking that. Yeah, I don't.
Oh, actually, what's his name? What's the fat guy called? Andy Ruiz.
Was that in 5 rounds?
I think that was that 8? Was that 6 or 8? Something like that.
Yeah, but no one's taking him out.
Yeah, not like that. Man. Not like that. No one's made AJ basically sleep.
I think it's 7th round, Ruiz. Yeah, but No, I think I agree. I think to be fair, I think also that Usyk fight gave Dubois confidence. To be fair, I think him doing what he did in those first 4 rounds, I think that changed how he's. Like, I feel like the Jarrell Miller fight goes a different way if he hadn't had that. If he didn't get that confidence from at least knowing those first 4 rounds he hung and like he had Usyk wobbling, like a prime Usyk wobbling.
Yeah,
I think that definitely is. And with each fight, he's improved. His confidence has gone up. Miller fight, his confidence went up. Hergovich fight, his confidence went up. AJ fight, with the ceiling now. Like I feel like that's sometimes the losses are just as important as the W's. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
In that situation, the Usyk loss, I think that definitely he saw those first few rounds and went, okay, I deserve to be here. And I think he's coming to that. He's coming to his own now since then.
Yeah.
So
boys, it's gonna be a good fight, man. It's gonna be a good fight.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one fight. Obviously, we need to wrap up now, but one fight I'm looking forward to is Fabio Wardley and Miller. Wardley and Miller. That's gonna be a serious fight. I think it's June 7th. That's gonna be a serious fight. I'm favoring Miller at the moment. I'll be real, but it's gonna be a serious fight, man. Wardley can do it. But I think they're experiencing the size of Miller, and the pressure. At the moment anyway, I'm siding with Miller. But if he loses this, he's gonna become like the gatekeeper, innit? The guy that once you beat him, then you're ready for the elites.
You're ready for the big time.
Yeah, you know what I mean. 100%. But yeah. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for calling, man.
I'm off. One last point: 100 man, one gorilla. We'll discuss that another day. Yeah.
All right.
All right,
take care. Take care, guys. Brent, let's go into the wrap up, please. All right, people, it's been a good one, man. Appreciate you guys turning up, you know what I'm saying, listening to us, dialogue, contributing to the conversation. Thank you for your insights, Black Rob, Kofi, Shijoke, Ed. I think it was only you guys that called up. Appreciate it, you guys in the chat as well. Today we spoke about the unfortunate incident that happened in Vancouver with the car ramming. We also spoke about the Green Party and how they've called for single-sex guidance to be withdrawn. We spoke about North Korea basically confirming for the first time that they sent troops to fight in the war in Russia. We spoke about the legacy of family, man, living up to the family name, man. Eubank, Benn, Sanders. Spoke about Trump's approval rating, lowest it's ever been. Israel airstrikes. We spoke about British Paralympian who is missing, Sam Ruddock. And of course, we spoke about the fight, man. Spoke about Liverpool winning the title. We spoke about a lot, guys. It's been amazing. Tomorrow we've got an amazing show, believe me. Bring out your pens and pads. It's been great. Peace.